Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the penultimate round of the 2024 Drift Masters season, and things are heating up not only in that air balloon, but here in Hungary, as we are at one of the most unique tracks on the calendar. We've seen huge upsets, we've seen wall runs, we've seen incredible battles, where now we head to the main event, top 16. My name is Dave Egan, I'm joined by my friend Ian Wallington here in the tower. We're going to be talking you through all of the action, whether you're a newcomer or a hardcore fan. We're going to be breaking it down. Ian, this round has thrown up some big surprises, and I think we're only getting started.
I think we are only just getting started, Dave, because the championship already in tatters right now. I just spoke with Conor Shanahan down there on that top 16 parade, and Lauri Heinonen, and they both said they still don't know what's going to happen. They said we're going to go to Poland, and who knows who's going to be the champion at the end of that weekend. So right now, whoever wins this event, yes, they will be leading the championship, potentially going into the final round, basing that if it's Conor or Lauri, but there's still so much at stake and the points are still so tight at the top that anyone could take the championship in Poland.
And anytime you think it's going to go one way, it goes another, and that's been the story of the entire season. Let's see how we got up into this mess all the way through. From Spain, Kevin Pesur, last year's Rookie of the Year, took the win in Spain. Then James Dean won his home event in Ireland after missing Spain. And then in Finland, Lauri Heinonen, it was the fairy tale. He won his home event. And then in Latvia, Conor Shanahan taking the crown from his brother the year before to get back on top step of the podium. We're here obviously this weekend in Hungary, and then the big final in a couple of weeks time in the Narodove, 60,000 people. And I'll tell you what, going by what happened in the top 32, anything can happen for the rest of this championship. Let's have a look back at what went down. There were so many things. Lauri Heinonen had to get the job done. His championship was on the line against Max Heidrich, and he did exactly that. He's had a tough weekend, very little practice, a lot of mechanical issues with the car, but he pulled it together just enough to beat Max Heidrich in the top 32 and secure himself a place in the top 16. Then Lauri would sit and wait to see the fate of his two biggest championship rivals, Dwayne McKeever and James Dean. And did it go smoothly? Well, it did not. Lauri Heinonen was all smiles, and he was even bigger smiles as Dwayne McKeever, who looked like he was right on top of things with Conor Shanahan, took a big dive into that corner, and then all of a sudden, boom, drive shaft fails on the back of Dwayne McKeever's car. Loses power and loses a lot of championship points. Conor Shanahan moves on to the top 16, and he said himself, not the way he wanted to, fell for Dwayne McKeever, how close he was to the top. Dwayne McKeever will be a bystander for the rest of this event, hoping that Lauri Heinonen doesn't get too much of a lead and Conor Shanahan doesn't catch him. That's where we stand there. Then it was all up to James Dean. He could have extended his lead at the top of the championship. Everything was in his hands. Beautiful lead run, excellent chase run, and then all of a sudden a piece of rubber comes off the front wheel, hits the belt off his dry sump setup, and has shut him down and knocked him out of the competition. This was the moment that Dean could not have even anticipated. Nothing could have saved that. There was no driver error. It was just one of those things. Piece of rubber, knocking a belt off, loses. The ECU shuts the car down with low oil pressure. Engine okay, he said, but he cannot believe his luck. So with James Dean and Dwayne McKeever out, James Dean had to watch on, and James Dean very dejected as he went back to the pits. Becky Evans went down to catch up with him, and here's what he had to say.
There's a lot of speculation as to what happened. Some people are saying drive shafts, prop shafts. What is it? I mean, just shaking some. Okay, you can tell me.
Okay, so this track is particularly bad with big chunks of rubber on the track. And unfortunately, my front tire picked up a big lump of rubber. It threw it towards my fan belt, which then knocked off my dry sump belt. So engine lost oil pressure. Luckily, the ECU master setup, we had an engine cut, so I think the engine is still okay. So it cut all the power, saved the motor, but out on top 32. And I was, after getting really comfortable with the track, I felt like we were in a good battle. I felt like we had a strong lead, and it is what it is.
Well, James Dean obviously dejected in the car, and he's going to have to watch on, just like the rest of our fans here in attendance, because this is how the championship stacks up. Right now, James Dean in the lead just by a few points over Lauri Heinonen. He's jumped ahead of Dwayne McKeever by 3 points. This is how it stands right now. Look at this, though. Conor Shanahan and Kevin Pesur, who's still in the competition, now looking like they're in a fantastic position to catch up on Dwayne McKeever, Lauri Heinonen. James Dean will only max out 12 points this round. So Lauri Heinonen, if he can jump up 16-8 into the podium, could have a massive lead heading into the Narodove Stadium in a couple of weeks' time. He was second in the championship last year. He will never get a better chance to win it from this position on. With Dean going out, such an uncharacteristic thing to happen, Lauri Heinenen's got to be looking at this opportunity saying, this could be my year. But there's a lot of hungry drivers out there who want to win here in Hungary. The place absolutely packed out for the top 16 drivers presentation, and the fans are ready in anticipation for what will be a historic night. Young and old, from all corners of the globe, they came this weekend to see the best in the business in Europe, and they have not disappointed so far. From all the way from young rookies like Conor Falvey to champions like Zalewski, Więcek, they're all in the mix. And as they lined up for their interviews just a couple of moments ago, there was a nervous tension in the air. You could tell from all the drivers, they know it's not going to be easy tonight. Rubber on the track conditions changing. A lot of drivers discussing tactics, strategies. What way are they going to set the cars up? Everything cooler than it was during the day. And now we're into the nighttime, the lights, the spotlights through the smoke, making it very hard for the drivers to see where they're going. They know it's not going to be easy, Ian. They know it's going to be a challenge, and they know that whoever stands on the top step of the podium tonight, well, they're going to earn it.
Yeah, exactly that, Dave. There was a lot of anticipation down there because Lauri Heinenen obviously has a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now, and so does Conor Shanahan. I think there's a lot of people saying Conor Shanahan can really get something back into this, but he's going to be facing off against Kevin Pesur this evening at some point, maybe, if they get through. Look, we're looking ahead, we're looking at battles, we're looking at the route through to the final, and Conor Shanahan said to me, look, Kevin Pesur, if we get that far, is not going to let me win this. He wants to try and climb back to where he was, Dave.
And the man that everyone's going to kind of forget about is Piotr Więcek. Top qualifier, wins the qualifying showdown, has been on a mission this weekend. Looks like, to me, the fastest and most capable driver on the track. Whoever wants to win it tonight will have to go through him at some point, I think. Well, and that could be the tail of the tape.
He's unbeaten this weekend so far. He won qualifying, he won the qualifying showdown, he won his top 32 battle. At the moment, Więcek looks like the strongest contender to win this event.
Yeah, well, he's got to take on a very complicated track, not the easiest one. We're going to see some things happen out there that you're going to want to know, why is it happening? That's why we're going to have a look at this track. First, second, third gear, fourth gear, absolutely send it in on the outside of the track, on the right-hand side, on that dirt bank. Doesn't make sense, doesn't have to. Then send it on the edge of the track, not all the way out there, about a meter or two off to get to that outer zone 2. That's the tricky one. That's the one the judges are weighing on. Then it's a touch and go on the left-hand side of the track. Get the two wheels into that, and then you got to decel the car into this next corner, trying to get as close to the tire wall as possible without, crashing the car again in there. See those hash marks? Stay outside of those in the lead run. Push to the edge of the circuit. Now this is where it gets really smoky and really dark on the nighttime, and then it's the last corner here. You got to get out early to those tires. You got some drivers in those tires, but if you can stay out there wide, you're going to get the best lead run possible. And the judges saying to me in the break between 32 and 16, the lead run is everything. Almost 85% of the battles decided by that lead run in the top 32. We'll be keeping an eye on that right throughout the night. It is going to be a wild event here in Hungary. We cannot wait to show you guys the amazing magic that these guys are going to produce on track, and all we got to do is sit back, relax, and watch the best in the business fight it out for those 3 trophies tonight.
We certainly are, Dave, and you probably see sorry, excuse me,
Ian?
You're too excited there, Dave.
You got a little too excited.
Way too excited.
It happens.
You can see around the circuit, under the lights now, there are green LEDs hanging off of some of those cones on those zones. That is because last night it was a little dark. Drivers wanted a little bit more illumination, so we brought the show.
Just to kick us off, doing the best in the field. Lauri Heinenen, you are Rintanen, will go head to head. And we have Piotr Więcek going up against Shanahan in the top 32. That's to kick us off. That's just to warm it up. Then Lauri Heinenen against Juha Rintanen. 2 Finnish drivers, but Lauri's going to have to go through his countrymen to try and keep this championship alive. Then it's the WRC 2-time champion, Kalle Rovanpera, going up against the hometown hero, Kevin Piskolty. All the fans will love Rovanpera being here, but they'll want Piskolty to beat him. Čirba and Itay Sadeh then go head-to-head. The youngster in it, Sadeh, going up against Čirba, who's coming on form this year. Piskolty and Conor Shanahan, they are almost in identical cars, and they want to be on top step of the podium. Zakouril, all smiles in the parade because he says he's back to his best. He said they're running so much boost for a stock engine, they don't care if they're going to blow it up. They want the podium. They've got Korpuliński for company in the top 16. And Kvia, who had the best chase run of the top 32, will take on Kevin Pesur, who got, I would say, an uncharacteristically easy battle with James Dean. And then all the way to our last battle on the grid, which we'll see Conor Falvey going up against Adam Zalewski. This is what it's all about. This is where the best in the business play, and this is all for a Drift Masters trophy. We are ready. The crowd are ready. Let's head to the top 16. Well, we are starting things off here with a heater.
A show. They called
Peter
it. They called it.
Więcek against Jack Shanahan will be our first battle of the top 16. To be honest, going into this, Peter has looked shaky at a couple of first rounds. He's been trying to get to grips with this Supra. Not this weekend. He is on rails. And it's Shanahan who looked a little shakier in that top 32 against Adam LZ. Więcek's in the lead. Shanahan is going to know that this is one of the fastest cars on the grid. He has got to be on the door on initiation. Więcek, he's just got to do what he's been doing all weekend, and he is untouchable. This is our first battle of the top 16, and this one means a lot to these two drivers who, in my opinion, have had a poor season by their standards, but could turn it all around tonight.
They certainly can, Dave, and Conor Shanahan, I think he's starting to believe. I think he's starting to realise that this could be the weekend. This could be the end of the season he wanted. Well, here we go, through the gears they go. Więcek fires in. Shanahan looks for it. Now they come down and go to the outside zone too. Big transition, big flick, but look at Shanahan right on the back bumper, looks for it. Opens the door up to Shanahan as he wants to take a step in, but can't. As Więcek now fires it across the circuit, looks for that final outside zone. Now Shanahan goes for the door.
That's a big lead and a big chase there. That was one to kick us off for the ages.
Well, they told me it was going to be a showdown there. They said, we're going to open the show with a show.
And that is worthy of a final. Conor Shanahan will be looking on going, if that's, competitors are going to go that fast, tonight's not going to be an easy one.
No, no way. And I just want to take a look at this. It was close. It looked like Jack was very shallow for the middle, but he wasn't. It was just the angle there from the camera. But he did get it dialed, he did get it on. And look at this, you can see the concentration in Więcek's face as he...
Look how close Więcek is in the lead to the wall on that transition. He gets late to the zone, actually. And I think that's the only thing I would look at there is if you look at Więcek coming out, he gets very late to this zone just because of that late transition. Shanahan deals with it well, and I've got to say, that's a 90-plus lead run and a 90-plus chase run. So this is going to come down to the second half of this battle. Więcek in the chase. He was phenomenal in the showdown last night. He was exceptional. But now he's got to turn it up. He knows how good Jack Shanahan is. Shanahan is going to have to put in, he hasn't yet this weekend put in that perfect lead run. Well, there's no time like the present. He's got to do it now because he's not going to have any inch given from Więcek as they come into this first corner.
No, exactly that. And here we go through the gears down, and look at that from Więcek right onto the back bumper, onto the rear wheel. He's already started to push Jack Shanahan around the circuit, goes for that transition. Shanahan's on a flyer though, but that's opened the door. Look at Więcek right into the groove, onto the door, all the way up the corner he goes. He loses some ground though, has to back out of it. Shanahan pulls some distance as he looks for that final outside zone. Więcek right on the rear wheel.
Wow. That is the closest anyone has been on the door of any car through that first section of the course. And I know, right at the end, it looks cool, but it's so difficult on the first half of the course. That's the trickiest part. And Więcek absolutely pinned it on the door of Shanahan there.
Look at Więcek from the initiation, look, absolutely mirrored it, Dave. There was no escaping it. Drove the car right down to the front wheel and just stuck there. As soon as he got on throttle, that was it. They were both dialed in. And then he's put even more pressure onto Jack. And look at Jack, so far into that outside zone. It was unbelievable. The lead from Shanahan was flawless, Dave.
Well, I think they both stepped it up there. A better lead, in my opinion, from Shanahan than Więcek, but a better chase from Więcek from Shanahan. So I'm not sure how the judges are going to look at this one, but it was very close. It could go either way here. Looking at this from a replay, it's tit for tat. It's exceptional, is what it is from both drivers. Look at this, right to the door.
Yeah, I was just looking for this outside zone. I think that you're right, Dave. The lead from Shanahan was way better.
But the chase was better from Więcek, so it depends on which way the judges want to go. It was exceptional either way. This could even be a one more time. Who knows? Judges are going to have to make a decision on it, and I think both drivers, you can see they're having fun, nervous fun, but I think they both won't know. It'll be very close, and I think what they're both going to think is, I'm proud of what I did. I did everything I could do. Let's see which way it drops in. Decisions will be made. And it's a one more time between Jack Shanahan and Peter Więcek. I'll tell you what, that's the right call for me.
Yeah.
There was nothing really in that. Two exceptional drivers awkwardly trying to open doors into each other right now. But I will say, that's going to be interesting to see where you go from here. Because that's pretty on the edge now for both of those guys. And they got to go up another 10%. But Więcek doesn't seem too unhappy about it.
No, and you know what? I don't think he is unhappy about it, because I think maybe in his mind, he felt that his lead didn't let Jack get as close as he could have done.
And again, he can clean that up because he's done that. He's our top qualifier.
Right? Yeah.
Fans enjoyed it, we enjoyed it, and we will see Więcek and Jack Shanahan go back at it again very, very soon. And I'll tell you what, I'm not sure, is there much more in the tank from either driver there to get that perfect over 2 runs? But
well, it has to be.
This is the one, though. This is the one. Lauri Heinonen against Juha Rintanen. This is the one. Because if Lauri Heinonen loses here, he loses a big opportunity. Lauri Heinonen wins this. He is clawing back those points on James Dean. He could go to Poland as the championship leader. He was the championship leader for quite some time, but Dean has caught and passed. But today, James Dean having a problem that wasn't his own, but Lauri Heinonen won't care how he had that problem. He's got to beat Rintanen, but that's not an easy task. Juha Rintanen, one of the best in the business, the best that's ever done it, is now standing in the way of Lauri Heinonen. The Finnish fans completely divided because they'll want Lauri Heinonen to beat Juha because of the championship, but they don't want to see any Finnish driver go out. Here we go, championship on the line.
Yeah, it is on the line as well, Dave. But look at this from Heinonen all the way up on that bank, full throttle, no messing around. Juha Rintanen optimises on that perfect lead line. A little wobble there from Rintanen, and he goes in hard. Oh, and he goes in way hard. He came in so fast to make a dive on Heinonen that there was no way he would slow that down, Dave.
I think he just couldn't hang with the pace Heinonen was coming through that first section. He made a big jump. He knows how good Lauri is.
He hit Heinonen as well.
And as far as I could tell, you could see it coming from a long way in. You were even high in the voice way before he hit the wall there.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like the car has come out.
Do you know what? I think he has come out of that with just some body damage.
And then he can compete the second run. But
he's a huge deficit.
I'm going to tell you something you might not notice. His front wing is not looking so good.
Do you know what, Dave? Such a shame that these cars get ruined.
Beautiful cars.
Animals, these guys.
Yeah.
Absolute animals.
These cars are exceptionally well built and nice to look at. I always say, if you look at show cars, you know, like normal cars you do in a car show, these are about 20 times more work put into them, and then they just smash them up. When other people are, you know, if a trolley hit them off.
Probably more money.
If a trolley hit off your car in a car park, someone would be furious.
Angry.
These guys are crashing into walls, and that's what they're built for purpose, to go and try and be the best drifter in Euro. And look, there you go, got it from the judges.
So there were sparks from Juha's car. Watch this. I'm sure I see sparks at some point from you. Yeah, look, sparks.
Does he DB'd?
Now, has something happened because he can't slow the car down?
No. So
oh, he was so close to putting him and Lauri in the wall.
Yep. I wonder. I'm not sure what those sparks are.
Watch the sparks from this wheel. I'm sorry, it's just from the exhaust. So is the exhaust burning the bits of rubble particles off the tarmac?
So
you couldn't see the exhaust from that angle, but I remember seeing sparks.
You know what? Looking at that on second glance,
yeah,
he's not far away from getting away with it too. Like he wasn't so deep in the wall. He probably was about a foot over where he needed to be.
A foot too much, though.
A foot too much, which is why he ended up in the wall.
Oh my gosh!
Just
look how close that was.
I'll tell you what. Look at that kid, fuming. Absolutely fuming with that result.
He's more angry than you are, Rintanen.
I'll tell you what, you had through the kitchen sink at Lauri Heinonen there, but Lauri Heinonen has a massive advantage. This is what Lauri Heinonen wants. Half the job done in this battle, and Rintanen now will have a look at that car, and Rintanen deemed at fault, so he has to pull to the line and be ready to go, or he's out of competition. 0 on the clock. Oh, out of competition for Juha Rintanen. So damage too extreme to fix, meaning that Juha Rintanen, it looked cosmetic being, but it was bent arms as well. Therefore, not deemed safe to compete, and Lauri Heinonen will just have to initiate into the first corner, and he's going through to the top 8, which is exactly what he wanted to do.
Well, this is it, and now he starts to do it, Dave. Now he starts to make some damage in the championship once again.
So Juha Rintanen's car deemed not safe to run. Lauri Heinonen will get the win, and let's be honest, probably not much Juha Rintanen could have done in the second run anyway to overturn that deficit.
Not in the lead anyway. From the lead position, it's very hard, and our safety marshal down there, Maciek Polody, has told Juha Rintanen that is it. Unfortunately, it's game over.
He probably doesn't agree. He'd probably run it with 3 wheels, to be honest. But
they drive it with no wheels. We've known Juha for a long time, and that man,
he's not going to be.
He could drive a shop trolley around there.
He definitely could.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it just our marshal's saying that look at that, the wheel catching the front.
Bar.
That's the problem.
That's the issue.
Yeah, the wheel is catching the front of the car, so that's why it's not deemed safe to run. Fair point.
And there we go. And look, it proves our basis, because earlier on we were getting information from people all over the circuit, and you know, we thought James Dean had done a drive shaft or a prop shaft, and it wasn't. It was a piece of rubber that took a belt off to shut the car down. But there we go. Lauri Heinonen, very calculated, very clever, not doing too much, just doing enough there. And he'll be happy with that. And do you know what he'll do? He'll go back and check that car all over.
He will. I mean, he's already got the points he needs ahead of Dean and McKeever now.
Yep.
But how many points if he keeps going the way he's going? Now, he won't have it all his own way tonight, that's for sure. But I'm sure the team with Lauri Heinonen are going to put that car through every spanner check now to make sure everything is okay. And he said himself, worst start to the weekend all year.
Yeah.
Because he had so many issues. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter about all your practice issues. It all matters on the night when it needs to happen. And he's had none so far. So Lauri Heinonen will get the official call, go through to the top 8. That's exactly what he needed, to be honest, after Riga, which, as he said, he debeated a tyre. It was an unlucky one to lose a lot of points, but I think, look at the nod of the head here. He's going to know that he has done it. He's into the top 8. Lauri Heinonen back to business here in Hungary, and he's thankful. He's praying to someone because that was what he needed. So he's through the 32, he's through the 16, and now I'm not sure where he sits in the championship, but I'll tell you what, a lot higher than he did.
Yeah, certainly so. We move it along to our next battle, and this one, well, it's going to please a lot of the Hungarian fans on one hand, Dave, but it's going to put a tear in their eye if it doesn't go the way they want it to go. It will be the homeland hero, Kevin Piskolty, to take on Kalle Rovanpera, a man who's been on form since the first lap of practice. He hasn't been in the car for a year.
No.
He's taking on a man whose dream it was to compete in Drift Masters in his home country, and 6 years later, Dave, he made that dream come true.
This championship throws up stories. Wherever in the world would you see a battle between a two-time and the youngest in history WRC rally champion who hasn't driven a drift car in almost a year come back out? He's gone up against a guy who watched us the last time we were here at this event and didn't even have a drift car in 2018.
Yep.
And then he said, I'm going to do that. And here he is, a couple of years later, taking on Kalle Rovanpera in front of a packed house of his own fans. That's drifting. That's what it's all about. And that's how the stories get written. And that's how, when you tell them to people who aren't in drifting, they don't believe them, because there's so many crazy random things that happen. And this battle will be a tough one for Kevin Piskolty. He knows the quality of Kalle Rovanpera. Rally driver, drifter, it doesn't matter. He's a driver. And he can drive anything, anywhere. And right now, Kalle Rovanpera hasn't put a foot wrong all weekend. Kevin Piskolty has the most laps of anyone on this track. He's got to make that count now, as his home fans are all supporting him here in Hungary, and the track getting very, very dusky as they go into that first corner. It's going to be do or die.
It's going to be do or die. But Kalle Rovanpera said to me down there on an interview, he said, you can't take your eyes off Piskolty. His man has turned so many laps at this circuit, he knows it inside and out. He won at this track multiple times. He became the Hungarian champion to get that license to drive in Drift Masters. Can't take your eyes off Piskolty. He may be in that chase position, but that is right where he probably wants to be right now as he chases down Kalle Rovanpera. Look at Piskolty, goes for the inside, gets on the throttle, shallows up the angle. He knows that Rovanpera's fast. He's going to shortcut the circuit, and he can get away with it in that chase position. Now dives down on the inside. Rovanpera wide, looks for that perfect lead line. He's been doing it all weekend. They transition through the smoke as Piskolty looks for the door, and he climbs all over it across the line.
Wow. I'll tell you one thing, Kalle Rovanpera is a problem here. A big problem for everybody. He's not making any errors. Now, because Piskolty had everything to work with, because Kalle Rovanpera's lead run was pretty spot on. I mean, you can see Piskolty on the initiation. He knew the late dive would be how he stuck with him, but he didn't actually get as close, I think, as he wanted to. And he loses a bit of ground, has to lose a little bit of angle through that first corner, but he does make it work after there. As Rovanpera transitions back, you see Piskolty starts to come for blood here, and they transition back. This is good proximity from Piskolty. He does a really good job here, but Rovanpera's lead run is pretty spot on the whole way through as well. No major errors, and of course you can see how dark it is and by how grainy our cameras are, because it is almost pitch black out there right now. Look at that transition from Piskolty as he throws it up onto the door of Rovanpera's Toyota Supra. You know what? Not much between them there, to be honest. I mean, Piskolty's now in the lead position. This is where we always question Rovanpera, because you can drive any car in a rally, right? But this is a different discipline because you're so close, sideways, and there's smoke. You don't have smoke in a rally. You're not behind someone who's smoking the tires. So Rovanpera's been learning lap by lap this weekend to adapt to that. And I think he's coming really hard into that first corner. Look at that, Rovanpera up on the door. Piskolty on the left foot brake takes it into the wall. Rovanpera's almost in the wall. You can barely see Rovanpera. Big dive from Rovanpera. Absolutely kamikaze stuff from the World Rally Champion, but he's shutting the car down and straighty. This is a very sketchy chase run from Rovanpera, and the car is let down. I think there's something up with the car, and that seems to be the story of Rovanpera. Almost every single time he comes to Drift Masters, the car seems to let him down. I'm not sure what happened there, but that dive was sensational. But that's a big, big problem for Rovanpera, and that looks to me like that was an unforced error in the chase.
I don't know if it was the car. I think he got lost in the smoke, Dave.
Well, Ian, we'll have a quick look back at it here, and of course we love to have a little argument.
We love an argument.
We love a little debate.
It's not a personal argument, it's just a debate. Look at Piskolty's line though. Woo. Man, big angle on that, but look, Rovanpera gets lost in the smoke, transitions earlier. than Piskolty. Gets on the door, but then look where the smoke trail is. He shallows up the angle. I think the car grips up, and then he gets in the smoke trail. Look, he goes wide. He's lost. Transitions way out of formation. Realises, has to reinitiate.
Yeah, I think you're dead right. I think that particular point, when you see it looks different on the cameras than it does in the car.
Look at the smoke.
Look at the front of the car here. He cannot see anything.
He's lost. He's absolutely lost in the smoke at that point. And at night, in the smoke, in the darkest part of the circuit, under the trees, there are lights there that shine down onto the circuit, but it is super dark.
Very, very dark. And as you can see straight away, the smoke now, there's no breeze in the air. I mean, the smoke is lingering, which makes it very, very tough. So you can see Piskolty.
Kevin Piskolty's probably saying, I'm really sorry about my smoke. I wish I could have smokeless tyres.
But I can't. And then Rovanpera's like, I got a little bit lost in the smoke there. But I tell you what, he was brave enough to make some of those dives straight off the bat too. So I can't wait to see Rovanpera back in the championship soon. But it looks to me like it will be an obvious decision here as the hometown hero. Kevin Piskolty gets the win and goes into the top 16, and look what it means to him. He's almost in tears because he's just beaten the two-time World Rally Champion in front of his home fans. This is Dream Street. This is fairy tales you're watching happen, people.
Dave, do you know what? The way he's driving, I just get that feeling it could be the weekend for Piskolty. There's something that happens to these drivers when they get to their home event. It's like they get an extra boost.
But
it's
also,
like the car gets another 200.
But there's also that pressure of expectation.
Of course.
And Piskolty, you can see the tears in her eyes. And I tell you, it's also what happens. You've got so much anticipation and adrenaline built up to that 1 minute of driving. It just washes back when you get the win. So all of a sudden, all the emotions that you've been hiding for the past 10 minutes just flood out. So Piskolty, look at the fans. They are ecstatic with this one. Cannot believe it. And Piskolty, look at that, he's in tears in front of his own fans. He's got through what on paper looked like a tough battle.
Yeah, and it is an incredibly tough battle. Any other day of the week, you would have said that was Kalle Rovanpera's, but not on this track, not on this occasion, not this weekend. Kevin Piskolty's here this weekend to do some damage, and he wants a podium in front of his hometown.
Simple fact, he held his nerve.
Yeah,
he held his nerve. He did nothing wrong, and I mean, this is memories made for every Hungarian drift fan here. They've got their hero on track, and you can see Kalle Rovanpera giving him a big high five and a big wave there, because Kalle Rovanpera knows that was an unforced error.
Yeah.
And again, I've got to just reiterate this: hasn't drifted that car or a car in a year. So Kalle Rovanpera turning up here and trying to take on guys that have been doing this all season is also a big task, to be honest. But I can't wait to see Rovanpera. And then, look, things just keep on rolling.
Yeah, we're going to have to do it again.
Yeah, Piotr Więcek and Jack Shannon are back on the line for their one more time battle. And I'll tell you what, visibility is questionable out here on track. A lot of smoke in the air. I'm sure a little bit easier at ground level, but we're a little bit higher up, and it is pretty hazy. So it's going to be another difficult night for these drivers, especially with the lights shining through that smoke. Almost makes it look like milk everywhere, right?
Milk.
It's the only thing that could come to my head.
That's the first thing.
Yeah, you can see it. Look, it looks like a horror movie.
That looks eerie.
That's a very eerie background. So
I'm scared.
Piotr Więcek, laser focused. Jack Shannon, laser focused. No separating these two heavyweights of the game.
Więcek wants this so bad, Dave.
He does. I think Jack Shannon now is going to think about this one and go, how do you beat Piotr Więcek without kind of going to a very uncomfortable level of commitment? And I think that's what he's going to need to do here. Yeah. Safe run isn't going to beat him. I think Więcek's lead run, I think he's turned the car up again here. I think he's going to try and leave Shanahan. I think he's going to try and make this the fastest run of the circuit so far. Shannon's going to be ready for that. This is going to be a real game of chess as they come off the line. This is for a spot again in the top 8. Więcek to lead in Jack Shanahan.
Yeah, through the gears they go down. A big initiation from Więcek this time as he puts that car right where it needs to be, a cleaner lead. Oh, he tags the wall! Tags the wall! Does Więcek, stays in it, but he upsets the line massively. Jack had to back out of it, gets himself back into it. They fall back into formation, back into the groove. But that was a big impact in the wall for Piotr Więcek.
Oh, didn't see that coming. Więcek's been
he was so wide
on rails all weekend, but the start of that run, look at that face. That's exactly the face. That's what me and Ian looked like. We were just like, he's gone too wide, and he went so wide.
Look at Jack's dive.
I'm not sure how. I mean, he hasn't made one error all weekend, Więcek, but he
look how wide he is there, though. He's on that blue part of the circuit early, which means he's already making contact. He's straightened for quite a long time. Right, we're going to see it. It's clear as day here. Look at the rear wheel, Dave.
Gets on the marbles. No coming out there. Buried in it. Buried in it.
Jack is on the back bumper at that point.
I mean, if you're Jack Shannon, you got green lights, white lights, smoke. You got banners flying over the front of the car. My goodness.
Jack just carried on. He just
said, let's
he transitioned and was like, well, I'm in the wrong place, but we'll make it work.
He said, oh, you're going? I'm going. So they do finish the run. That will be a big deduction for Więcek, though, as he does tag the wall pretty heavy in the lead position. Remember, a lot of these battles are going to be decided by that lead position, so can't afford to make too many errors. And there you go. There's the proof in the pudding on the back of it. And you know what? He got away with it pretty okay.
Being told, Dave, by our judges, and we should know this, but we won't let everyone else know that we should know this. But if we remember a couple of days ago, we was told the blue part is off track.
Right.
So it's a 0.
Just 2 wheels off on the blue.
2 wheels off. The only places you can go 0. So it's a 0. Oh, opposite drift. Oh, God, they're lying to me. They're saying to me
Ian, you made that one up yourself.
So they're telling me one thing, now they're telling me the other.
So
now they're all laughing at me because they wanted me to look like a fool.
Pretty easy to laugh at you, Ian.
Yeah.
So the easy thing is, Więcek does have a 0 from an opposite drift on the first run, but now it's on the second run. Anything can happen here in Hungary. Więcek fires and he's angry now, Więcek, and he's going very wide again, almost goes in the wall. Look at the chase run from Więcek. Oh my goodness, what a transition onto the door. Jack Shanahan, he's bullying him around the track here because he needs him to make a mistake. Shanahan just has to hold it together. It's absolutely outrageous from Piotr Więcek there. That is an angry drive, which was also a pretty dangerous one. My goodness, I thought they were both going to end up upside down.
I don't even know where that come from. That was bananas. I was still having a fist fight in the corner with the judges over what information they're trying to give me. And out of nowhere comes this chase. That was phenomenal, but you've got to give it to Jack Shanahan, Dave. That was an impeccable lead.
I thought Więcek was going in the wall here in the chase. How close does he get? Can't have been far away. I mean, you see nothing there. But this dive here, look at this. Onto the door. That's the closest I think anyone's gone there. He gets up onto it, but this, the last dive for me was just, it was crazy. This last one, watch the back of Shanahan's car. Oh, we just missed it there. But he just absolutely sent it in. But I think that first run, you know what the worst thing about Więcek now, he made the mistake himself, went too wide. You can see him just hit the wall. He said himself, you could hear it, I tried too hard. Drops off track, hits the wall.
Jack's face. I see you going in the wall and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw that. I was right there when you did it.
Funny enough.
Oh, you got to push so hard. It's what Jack Shanahan's saying, but he's pushed hard enough, and going through to the top 8 is Jack Shanahan getting the win. Going through to the top 8. You can see Jack Shanahan thumbs up, but he knows that Więcek went too hard, and he had a front row seat. He was closer than any of us.
He was.
To see what happened there.
Too close, probably, for Jack's comfort.
For anyone's comfort. But it is going to be a condition where we are now in a situation where visibility, lights through the smoke, all these little different things are going to really play havoc with the drivers.
But they certainly are. Look, and I think this is it. This is peak darkness at the moment at the track. So the lights that we have, and I mean, look, you're right, Dave, at ground level, I think it's dealable. I think you could deal with it. The gaps between the battles, I think, is just enough to try and let it kind of float away. But it does hang in the trees here in Mariapocs, and yeah, it could be an issue later on this evening when we start.
I mean, I got to say, for Piotr Więcek's sake here, he had a great weekend up to this point. He was top qualifier. He won the showdown, dominant in his top 32 battle. But again, just pushing that little bit too hard, and I think still trying to find the extremes and the limits of that car. I think when he finds them, we're all in trouble, because when he does get it right, he looks fairly unbeatable. But it can always go wrong in just a split second. Now we move it along. Benediktas Čirba is up next. And look at this. Look how many tire marks he's taken over this season on the car. Benediktas Čirba lining up for his battle. Yeah,
against Itay. Sadeh is going to be putting it on the line in the chase position. And Benediktas Čirba, as we said yesterday, not had the greatest weekend or round from Riga. Car problems been plaguing him, but they've been working through it. The team have been tirelessly trying to get that car to work 100%. And you see what it meant to him yesterday after qualifying. That release, that emotion came out of Benediktas Čirba, a man who's very collected, very calm, that Lithuanian style, no real emotions shown on the face. But yesterday he couldn't hold it back and it all came out. And I think if we see Benediktas Čirba make his way into the Great 8 today, I think you're going to see more of those emotions bleed out of him, because he is in that top 8, Dave. He's still in the conversation for top 5 in the championship.
And Itay Sadeh has been quietly getting his business done this year too. Some great runs all the way through the season, been very consistent.
Yeah.
And one error in Riga was pretty much it for the whole season for Itay Sadeh, but he's going to have to wind that up a little bit now, because Čirba, when he gets it right, is tough to beat. And this is, I don't expect a big lead run here from Benediktas Čirba, who's now starting to see some big names in the championship fall down the order. He can start picking up some points here.
He's certainly going to go for it, Dave. A nice initiation, but Itay Sadeh dealt with it and now starts to find the side of that E92 BMW, but that was almost a big accident there for from Itay Sadeh. He was aggressive. He fired that car up on the inside and almost got stuck. Now transitions back. Čirba on a flyer, just about gets into the outside zone across the line.
Well, you got to say, I mean, a great lead run from Benediktas Čirba. I mean, he's happy with that one, but Itay Sadeh kind of there the whole way.
Yeah, but he
made some kind of moves.
He was making some dangerous moves there, Dave. Some dangerous dives.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect that much aggression from Itay, so he's very much in the fight here.
Let's take a look back at the replay. Look at this nice initiation. And Itay deals with it very fast from Čirba as he fires that E92 BMW in that M3, gets it into the outside zone. But then watch Itay. Look how far up the inside he comes here. He almost catches himself out. That was so close.
That's good.
But he positioned himself perfectly for the line to get into the outside zone.
Watch this from the other angle. This will be wild. Look, as he transitions back. Yes. That's perfection.
Look at that, look.
That is perfection.
And then he crept up the inside, but he scared himself a little when he dabbed the foot brake and it shallowed up the angle massively.
He scared me from here. I thought he was going to crash. I'll tell you what, I was listening to some of the drivers in the top 16 parade, and they were saying that on their way back after the first run to the start line, they're picking up so much rubber on the front tires throughout the run that it's giving them a big imbalance in the tires, so it's wobbling the steering wheel. So they're all trying to scrub their tires back up for the second run, and it's saying that the tire is almost, you can't tell what tread is on the tire at the end of the second run. It's literally just a big messy ball of rubber.
Wow.
Which is crazy, right? So that's what a lot of the drivers are saying. It's actually front tires that are causing a lot more issues than rear tires at the moment. So just keep an eye on that. As we switch them around, it will be a taste of that in the lead position. It will be the Lithuanian Benediktas Čirba in the chase. Can Čirba get the job done here? He's going to have to be aggressive.
Oh, he's going to go for it, though. He is aggressive, Dave. Oh, and he makes a little stall up there. Has to go back on the handbrake, and that allows Itay Sadeh to get to the outside zone. But now Čirba finds himself up on the inside. Oh, and he's closer, and he's braver than Itay Sadeh is. Now he starts to apply more pressure. Look at this from Čirba. Oh, that was textbook. Absolutely beautiful. But from Benediktas Čirba all the way up the door.
You know what? I had my doubts.
About Benediktas Čirba?
No, not Čirba. I had my doubts about this track. Would we see that door-to-door action? It's a very.
Things have moved along since 2018.
Yeah, but it's a very flowy track. It's kind of your, it's not the most natural. That man's got a traffic cone on his head. I didn't expect that either. But I will say that I didn't expect these sort of hair-raising dives, and they're so entertaining to watch.
No, I took something away this weekend, as what James Dean said. We came here in 2018, and the sport has progressed so much in 6 years. Everyone's going so much faster. The cars are way better built. There's so much more grip available. Can this track handle it? That was the question that a lot of drivers were asking. I tell you what, Dave, I think that question's been answered already in top 32 because the battles are so rewarding.
And you've got to be very brave.
Yeah.
Like, there's no calculated wins here. It's all do or die dives.
Look at Čirba there. He could have took the tail light bulb out. He's that close.
I would have said Itay Sadeh's dives were exceptional. I think we went up a level again with Benediktas Čirba. But then again, we are focusing constantly on proximity, as the judge is saying. We got to look at those lead runs.
We got told off, didn't we?
We got a little bit of a telling off. Saying,
Yeah.
You're not looking at the lead runs. You're doing what everyone does and look at how close the chase is. But have a look at the lead runs. They're deciding a lot of things too. So let's see which way the judges go. Both these guys not going to know. I'll be honest, I don't know.
No, nor do I. I have no idea.
The judges do know. And we're going to get a decision for a spot in the top 8. This would be big moves for Čirba in the championship. Itay would time up quite considerably too.
I'm telling you, Čirba's looking at a top 5. If he carries on the way he's going, I mean, if he gets a good result this weekend and goes to Poland, and we know he does well in those stadium events, he could be looking at a top 5 in the championship this weekend. Sorry, next round, last round, final round. I'm getting lost on my words. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend.
It's been a long weekend, and we're still here for it. Čirba and Itay Sadeh.
This is not clear cut.
No. There's some deliberation.
There's some things that we missed, like we normally do.
We always miss something. I don't know why they put us even here. We don't know what we're looking at. Look at this, nervous. Maybe they're just leaving them there as long as...
They are the two most emotionless drivers on the grid.
Let's see which way it goes. And it's Itay Sadeh getting the win over Benediktas Čirba. Wow, that was impressive stuff. We're just going to get a quick word with our head judge, Vernon. Vernon, talk us through it. We thought it could go either way there.
Yeah, it was close, but if you really look at it frame by frame, you did see that Itay had just a better lead line. Čirba was really good, but not that deep in all the zones, so that was the difference.
Lead runs.
We keep doing it.
We keep doing it. Look at Vernon there. He's so glued
He's
on
so
those lead runs.
angry with us right now.
He's like,
Kevin
guys...
O'Connor won't even talk to us because he told us off.
He said, lead runs, boys.
Look at the lead runs. Stop focusing on the chase. We
love
chasing.
chasing. It's fun.
Chase is
We love chasing.
And now he's looking at me again, trying to give me more false information to tell everyone.
Yeah, well, maybe that was just you being miscommunicated to by yourself. But anyway, we won't get into it. We got on to the next battle. It is Kuba Przygoński. And Kuba's been on rails too. I don't even know why. Why am I even saying it? Everyone is on rails is lost at this point.
This is a train station.
It's probably better to be like, who's been the most terrible so far? Might win the whole of it. I don't know. But these two guys are going head to head. Kuba Przygoński, Conor Shanahan. And I'm going to say right now, Conor Shanahan's got a bit between his teeth because he's had a bad start to the season. He's got a bit of a gift in Dwayne McKeever breaking down in the top 32. If he was to go all the way to like 2 wins in a row, he'd be back in the argument for the championship. And he is technically right now in the conversation for, he still technically could win the championship. That was lifetime ago, he wouldn't have believed that. But he's got to beat Przygoński. And last night, in the dark, he was the man to beat. Second in qualifying, unbelievable. Let's see what happens. But then he missed his own earlier on, so I have no idea. But anyway, so I think what we should do is stop talking. Let's see what they do, because any sort of previous form seems to be going out the window. The drone might win it. You never know. It's been one of those nights. The drone is up in the smoke going, I don't know where I am. Here we go, Kuba Przygoński in the lead, Conor Shanahan in the chase. Poland versus Ireland for a spot in the top 8. Przygoński to lead them in.
Yeah, look at this, Przygoński looking all moody. Oh, and a big waiver from Shanahan though as they initiate. Przygoński gets himself into it, looks for outside zone 2. Shanahan fires up the inside. Oh, very clever from Shanahan as he fires down. Almost makes contact with Przygoński, but they both deal with it. They both fire through the middle of the circuit. Shanahan is glued to the side of Przygoński's GR86.
Good God, what a chase run. Sorry, Kevin O'Connell, lead run was good too, but the chase run was phenomenal. I don't think anybody's been that close consistently from start to finish on a run.
Saying that as
but
well,
then we are getting better. Look at the smoke lingering on the cameras.
Look at Shanahan's car, the way it wobbles there a little bit though, as he adjusts for Przygoński's initiation. This is beautiful from both of them, and the lead from Przygoński just absolutely, as he was doing all day yesterday. Gosh, Shanahan there. He had to handbrake to avoid contact with the back of that car. That was just...
This is in the dark, ladies and gentlemen, in the smoke, just to let you know. In the dark,
if I tell you now, I look out of the window of the glass house across to that point on circuit, I can't see the track.
No, it's very, very smoky, and I almost feel like we're in a sauna because we can't see anything out of the windows anymore. There's so much smoke. But those guys, more importantly than us, can see. And I'll tell you what, there's not much more you can do in the lead and the chase than what those two guys just did. They've completed the track there. That's as good as you get, I think. Like, I know I said that a few times, then we're going to probably get better and crazier, but any more on Shanahan's side, he's crashed. Any more on Przygoński's side, he's in the wall.
He's in the wall, yeah.
So now, Przygoński, who isn't known to be overly aggressive in the chase, has to turn it up.
No, but I think now that Przygoński's got to a point in his career where he's saying, look, this Mr. Consistency is good, but I need to be Mr. Angry as well. They come through the chicane, down through the gears. Shanahan fires it in, and look at that from Przygoński. He drops down, looks for the front wheel of Shanahan's GT86. They transition through, and now Przygoński becomes the aggressor as he dives onto the front wheel. He looks for the side of Shanahan's GT86, and he finds it. They transition through the tunnel, through the smoke, and Przygoński gets a little lost, and he doesn't have the same proximity.
That dive from Przygoński, how did he get away with that?
The front bumper just popped down the side of that car.
But how did he get away with it? Because like, if you think about it, I think if he did that 10 times, he wouldn't have got away with it 9. Do you know what I mean? So it's bananas. That's all it's been today. Let's have a look. I want to watch the transition here from Przygoński. It's just caution to the wind, which, as I said, no more Mr. Consistency. He's all about trying to win here. Look at this transition. Not this one. This one's close, really close. But this one comes through, and he almost runs into his front wheel, but somehow balances it right there. So I'll tell you what, the judges having a good look at this one. On first look, you think, all right, Conor Shanahan, more proximity. Shanahan's lead run looks pretty solid, so you say. But then they're going to look at every decel. Shanahan's not as wide as Przygoński at the end of the run there in the lead position. So they're having a good discussion on this one.
Yeah, we can hear them in the background there talking
probably
about
not as
lead lines.
Clean and easy as we'd like it to be. Conor Shanahan, I mean, he'll not know.
No,
Przygoński won't know. And let's be honest, no one knows except the 3 guys who are deciding it. But I'll tell you what, they'll both be happy with that run. They'll both be happy with the performance on that run.
And like we say, Dave, they'll both know that there's probably not more that they can do. There's not a lot more they can do.
No, I think that's as good as Shanahan and Przygoński could do.
Yeah.
That's all on the line there. There's no, in a way, there's no losing. If you lose, you know you've done your best. So it's an easier pill to swallow. But the judges are going to have to decide it. They're having a good talk about it at the moment.
They're looking at the lead. Now, we know they're focusing heavily on the lead, so
I think what they're going to have a conversation with here is the lead line from Shanahan. Was there excessive decel? That's what I'm hearing a little bit about it. So I'm kind of thinking, from my perspective, maybe Shanahan's lead looking like it was a little safer and a little slower, and is that going to hurt his score? So we know Shanahan definitely had the better proximity, but is it going to be balanced by the lead run not being as good as Przygoński's? I think we could be looking at it one more time.
Can I just tell you something? My brain has turned to mush.
Well,
because the
so
last
just an average day for you then,
the
Ian.
top 32, the last battles we've seen. I just thought, looked down at my battle train.
We don't know what the judges. We can't hear them speaking, but we can hear mumbling. I'm going to think if it's going this long,
it's going to be a split decision.
I think it could be a one more time or split decision. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the battle tree that I'm creating in front of me, and with all the drivers that have made it through, and I'm looking, thinking, how am I going to survive till the end of the day? Because this driving is only going to get better as they put more laps on track.
I don't know if it's much better.
They get more aggression.
We could see some crashes if we get any closer than this now. This is dangerous because there's a lot of runs out there where I don't think there's much left in it.
They're all knife edge.
Yeah. Which is good to watch, to be fair. I'm enjoying it. But also I feel for these guys that they're putting so much on the line. So we got Kuba and Conor Shanahan still waiting.
I think Conor now thinks maybe he thought he had it. And I think Conor now thinks, I don't know if I've got this. And they're looking at a side-by-side comparison. So they will be wanting to look at the lead line. That's what they're weighing heavily on.
Looks quite similar, definitely.
I'm gonna just say I think Przygoński's lead was maybe nicer.
And I'm going to go there and say I agree with Shanahan's chase being better, but was it better because it was a nicer lead?
We need to remember, Kevin O'Connor will tell us off again. Lead.
So there's a long wait for Kuba Przygoński and Conor Shanahan right now, because they know this is a long discussion. And there's only so many niceties and pleasantries you can talk about before you just want to know who won and lost. So both of these guys, very established drivers now in their own careers. Kuba's done, I mean, his trophy cabinet's bigger probably than my house. I'd say he's got that many trophies.
He has a house for his trophies.
Does he?
Yeah, I found out, yeah. 3-bed semi,
just
garage.
Trophies everywhere. Trophies in the bath.
Trophies in the bath. Just trophies everywhere, apparently. Walk in the front door and they're just falling over as you sweep the door. Yeah.
Oh, so we're hearing in the background, you can see fire extinguishers running. The Zakouril's on fire in the background. Anyway, we'll figure out what's going on as results do drop in. It's a one more time between Conor Shanahan and Kuba Przygoński, and smiles all around. They got to go back at it again, and I think the judge is saying better lead run from Kuba, better chase run from Shanahan, balancing each other out, and then that was enough to see one more time, which I'm not complaining about.
I don't think Kuba agreed with that. He was like, okay, gets back into the car and goes, we go again.
Oh, we've just heard big drama in the burnout box that Marco Zakouril went on fire in the burnout box and is out of competition. I think he's done an engine. He did say it was a stock engine, and it's probably not a good thing. In the burnout box, there was big smoke, big fire, and then that would give... Oh, look at the face, not happy at all.
Man, he was flying earlier on today as well.
He was in great form this weekend, and you can see all the extinguisher underneath the car. Something went in the burnout box on fire. Looks like it's engine side of things. And Marco Zakouril, has had a big problem here. I'm not sure what exactly, but it looks engine related, and that would be 2 rounds in a row.
Oh man, he's just not having any luck this season.
I spoke to him in the top 16 parade, and he was so pumped up, so happy.
Yeah.
And I thought he really believed tonight that tonight was the night. But unfortunately, Paweł Korpuliński will have no option here but to do a by run and go through. There's no hope of Zakouril getting there within 2 minutes if his engine's gone. So
no,
Korpuliński is just going to take off the line, and he's just going to have to pull the handbrake, and he's going to go through to the top 8. Not the way Korpuliński wanted it either. Look at him, shaking his head. He wanted the battle with Zakouril.
I mean, and he had this situation in Riga as well.
Yeah.
Had this situation in Riga where he said, look, I don't want to win this way. I want to win the right way. I want to, you know, battle my way through these battles and take these people down and prove I am the best of the best, not get these formalities. Unfortunately, and I said this to a lot of drivers, you've got to take the good luck with the bad, because there's a lot of times out there when you do get bad luck and you make one mistake and the run could be over or the car could fail you. But right now for Paweł Korpuliński, it looks like he's getting a hell of a lot of luck, Dave.
Yeah, but I mean, he gets the luck, but then he performs beyond that point.
Of course,
you know what I mean? So, like, I mean,
I'm taking nothing away from his capabilities as a driver.
No, and I think you could look at Conor Shanahan going against Dwayne McKeever there and say that was a little bit of luck on his side, or Pesur against Dean, or whatever. But there's fire trucks in the pit area. It's all going off. I'll tell you what, this night is going to be one for the ages, I think, and we're only getting warmed up.
No more heat.
There's fire extinguisher everywhere. There's fire everywhere. There's oil on the ground.
Big oil leak, yeah.
And Zakouril is devastated. That's not what they wanted. Not what they wanted at all. And you can see other teams coming over just to commiserate with Marco Zakouril, because you just don't want to see it, especially at this stage of the competition.
And there will be a hold-up for a few moments, because we won't be able to get our next battle into the burnout box and warm any tyres. That will be Kevin Pesur's take on Kvia. So you see Pesur there ready to pull into the tyre warming area to warm these tyres up. And we will have to get Marco Zakouril's car removed.
Yeah.
We make that decision official as well from the judges.
And it goes to show behind the scenes, you have so many different teams all rowing in to try and help everybody get there. There's a giant hot air balloon on the left-hand side of your screen. Don't even ask. Don't even know why. There's enough going on without trying to explain that.
There was a race truck earlier, Dave, drifting the full circuit.
I saw that. Yeah. Hungary.
I've seen it all.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Drift Masters, Drama Masters. And fire trucks like, we were even busy today. Pretty
busy weekend.
Yeah,
for them
might
guys.
need another tank of diesel in this. We now get Zakouril recovered. We've got to figure out what the oil situation is in the burnout box, and then we will warm up our next battle, which we'll see
Pesur and Kvia.
Do you know what? I saw this battle just between us here. I saw this battle warming up, and I went, "This is a sketchy one now." Pesur and Kvia are probably two of the most unhinged, crazy drivers on the grid, and I really feel when you put the two of them together in these conditions, it's going to be a wild ride.
Well, I spoke to Kvia earlier, and
but don't tell anyone on the outside. I'll just say, these guys, just boring runs coming up from these guys. Nothing's going to happen. I mean, if you watch Kvia's top 32 run, it was probably the best chase run. One of the best chases I've ever seen.
Yeah, of course, 100%. And Kvia said to me earlier, he said, look, I feel really bad for knocking Orion Nilsson out of top 32 because he's so high in the championship. He said, but I didn't really care because I wanted to move up the championship.
Well, now Kvia's in the competition. Pesur is sitting in, if I'm not mistaken, 5th in the championship.
Yep.
So he's now knocking on the door here.
Well, he certainly is knocking on the door, especially when you start to think that some of the contenders in and around that top 5 are now out of competition.
So my thought is, Pesur, this is must win. Because if he wants to climb up, he sees, one of those drivers in the top 4. If he's in 5th, they're all struggling a little bit, bar Lauri, Heinonen. Conor Shanahan's not through yet.
Well, I've just been told that this morning, Pesur was 100 points behind James Dean.
No way.
Yeah.
And now he's not.
No, he's not.
So Kevin Pesur slots that car into gear, and he's got to go up against a very aggressive. Now, if he thinks a safe run behind Kvia is going to do it here, he's got another thing coming. So he's going to have to go for it. Kvia's in the lead position. He struggled more in the lead than the chase this year. Let's see if he can keep it together. It'll be Norway versus Estonia. Oh, this is primed and ready here. Primed and ready. Get to the edge of your seat. That's all you're going to need. Here we go. Arne, Kvia, Kevin Pesur, off the line we go.
Yeah, through the gears, the Norwegian sledgehammer fires in, and that 180 SX gets on the throttle nice and early now, starts to pull away, starts to drive away from the Estonian as he flicks it across the circuit, but Kevin Pesur goes for an early transition, tries to get himself into place, and he does now, finds the door, gives it a tag, gives it a knock once again as they transition through the smoke. Pesur goes early, but as he put himself in the wrong place on circuit, no, he gets there.
Ooh. Moments of brilliance from both drivers, and then some mistakes. Some mistakes from Kvia in the lead, some mistakes from Pesur in the chase. We'll have a look at it on the replay, but I'll tell you what, it wasn't the cleanest lead, it wasn't the cleanest chase.
No, there was a few mistakes there from Kvia in that especially on that final outside zone. Let's take a look back at it, Dave. As you can see, nice initiation from Kvia, gets on throttle, drops down a little low though. He does get to the outside zone, but maybe not the most orthodox line that the judges would like him to have taken. And that was a nice transition from Kvia. Gets on that foot brake, pushes the back end of that car deep into that outside zone. He looks dialed inside the car.
Yeah, up to here everything was going pretty well. I think he just transitions a little too early here, Kvia. Smoothly but early. And wants to get to the edge of the track as quick as he can. Pesur makes a big dive, but he doesn't really, he kind of straightens up a little bit there.
Yeah, it's just like the car didn't want to wash out to that outside zone for Kvia, and that's probably really the only place he made a mistake. Other than that, it was nice. And,
I think maybe a little bit leaning towards Kvia after watching the replays there. Pesur did a couple of dives, but didn't really make them stick. So Pesur now in the lead, Kvia in the chase. This is where Kvia was very strong in the top 32. Can he replicate that form? I'm not sure how you can. It was very knife edge. But the Norwegian wants to get himself back on a podium this year. It hasn't been the perfect season from start to finish, or to his standards, I guess.
Yeah, to his standards, yeah.
Pesur coming in as Rookie of the Year. He hits Spain, he gets a win. He's the first winner of the year, but it hasn't really flown after that. So both of these guys really need this now for their own mental sake. So let's see what happens.
See what happens as they fire through. Kvia's giving Pesur a little bit of room here. He's opened the door and he's letting him take a few steps in. Now as Pesur fires through, now Kvia starts to turn the heat up a little bit in Hungary as he fires down, almost gets caught up on the wall there, does Kvia, but now he gets deep into it. Now he looks for the side of Kevin Pesur's BMW, and Pesur's not as deep in that zone. Kvia is planted on his door.
Oh, I mean, yes, we talk about lead runs, but to me, if you look at the mistake Kvia made of not going so wide on the last corner, Pesur makes a worse one.
Yep.
And Kvia's got tons more proximity through the run. Absolutely knife edge again from Torney. Kvia gets up onto the quarter panel. A lot of the time I think he's going to get stuck. He just manages that aggression, especially here. Waits on it and then goes for it. And that's perfect timing.
Yeah, he's perfect timing from Kvia, and he takes those risks. And look at that, he's deeper into the outside zone than what Kevin Pesur is. Kevin Pesur's not on a bad line there. For me, it's this transition. They're coming out of here, and the car's not really reacting. It's not really washing up that little bit of bank section. And look, you can see how shallow he is. And for me, Kvia deals with it, gets right up onto the door, right across the line.
I mean, that's obvious. First layman's look at the runs from our perspective. The judges will look at it much more technically, but from face value, we know what we think. But it's been one of those nights where there's a lot of different things going on, and especially, you know, when they have so much more replay options than we have, we watch what you guys watch, what you see, you know, different shots, slow-mos and all that. They actually can rewind every single camera, so they can watch in the car, outside, drones, everything. So they get so much information. Let's see what happens here. Kevin Pesur, not too sure. Kevin Pesur, not too sure. Torney Kvia, will he go through? Yes, he will. Torney Kvia gets the win and goes through the top 8. He has been waiting for that all season. You can see what it means to him. Torney Kvia is over the moon. And I'll tell you what, he's on a hard road. Very tough battle with Arne Nielsen.
One, that's for sure.
Very tough road with Arne Nielsen. Very tough battle with Kevin Pesur, and he's in top 8. He'll be happy with that. Look at the smile. He's a happy man. He remembered the cameras there. That's why he didn't swear.
Yeah.
Clever man.
Clever man. Yeah, clever.
So Torney Kvia electronic. Does my hat look cool? Hat looks cool.
Hat looks good. Yeah, jump out the car now.
Goes right in the car. We're doing good. We're in the top 8. Look at that. He is a happy boy. And that man with the traffic cone on his head, he's happy regardless whether it was someone on track or not.
He's had a few beverages, that's why. Yeah.
He might be here into the night, but it's all over just staring at the track with a traffic cone on his head. Loving life.
Just waiting for next year to come back around.
Yeah, I might just stay here.
Might just stay here. These guys might come back next year, who knows?
Yeah. Look at this.
Look at this. Kevin Pesur's like, yeah, I'll get you one day. Yeah. You might want now. You wait. There's Poland yet.
Oh, Poland. I'm just thinking ahead going, it's going to be... If the level of driving rises every single round...
Well, it has as the stadium events as well. You think last year at the PG Narodowy, that was the craziest stadium driving we've ever seen.
For sure. And now we got another year of madness on top.
With more advances in the sport, with more advances in driver skill.
For sure. So next up we have got our current and leading Rookie of the Year, Conor Falvey, going up against Adam Zalewski. This will be, I think, the highest ranked driver Conor Falvey's ever gone up against. Adam Zalewski has lived Conor Falvey's dream. He's been European champion. He's been Drift Masters champion, but Zalewski wants to be it again. Now, he might be mathematically down the order this year, but you never know. You never know, because the championship order has been kind of messed up a little bit. A big win anywhere, and a big win here for Zalewski could do a lot for his championship. Conor Falvey getting through that top 32 battle against Clint Van Oort. Zalewski in the lead position. This is going to be an interesting one. Never faced each other before. We've no data from either of these battles before, so this is going to be, I guess, do or die for both drivers. Who's going to make it through to the top 8?
Well, only one of them can make it through to the top 8, and we are checking out Adam Zalewski's car. Looks like it's all good to go. Yeah, he gives him a little handshake and says, ready to go. Adam Zalewski blows the camera a kiss. Now maybe blowing it to someone watching online.
He's far too casual for a man that's meant to do what he's meant to do.
Yeah, I'd be shaken.
I would be getting sick beside the car going, don't even talk to me.
I don't even want to look at the camera.
Here we go. So Zalewski in the lead, Conor Falvey in the chase. Our Starlight Marshal gives the word, and we are ready to send cars. And we have obviously got one more time to come back to between Conor Shanahan and Przygoński, but let's go. Off the light they go. Oh. And something happened on the Starlight. I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, we're left speechless here a little bit.
I don't know what happened there. Adam Zalewski's completing the run.
Now Zalewski's going to complete the run. Conor Falvey now still sits on the line.
So I'm not sure what happened on the start line there. Now, of course, there's a false start. We see the strobes, we see the red flags. There was none of those as far as I can see. So let's see what happened on that start line. So, I mean, this is an unprecedented one for us, Ian.
Yeah, this is...
Did Conor Falvey just not go? Did he have an issue?
Well, let's have a look. So the lights go... Do we wait for that green light at the bottom to go? Oh! Conor Falvey sees the green light. Conor Falvey goes to go. Zalewski's still on the foot brake. Then he goes. So it looks to me like Conor Falvey said, look, Conor Falvey's rolling. It's a green light. Zalewski waits, then goes, but by that point, Falvey's already stopped the car. So ready? Green light.
So what we're hearing from the marshals, got some information.
God, tell me, Dave.
So it doesn't mean anything. It's just what Conor Falvey has said to the Starlight Marshal. When the light went green, he thinks that Zalewski wasn't in gear. So he revved the car, but the car didn't move. Conor Falvey rather moves, but then he waits, and then there's a gear. So there's some misshift or something happened on the Starlight, according to Conor Falvey. So it could be whatever. But something happened on the green light that Zalewski didn't go. So something happened on the start line. Zalewski didn't go on the green light, revved the car. You can see the flames coming out of the car.
Yeah, you can see the anti-lock firing away.
And then he was either wasn't in gear or he didn't.
Or it didn't select.
So I'll tell you, we have to go over to the judges for an explanation on this one. We don't know what's happened because, of course, Ian and I generally don't anyway. But you guys have had a little look at this one. What do you think, Kevin?
Hey, I'm Vernon, by the way.
Sorry, Vernon.
Oh, good, man. Yeah, so the delay of Zalewski was on the start line. So when the green came in, we have the rule that in 2 seconds he needs to take off from the start line, and after 3 seconds he still didn't. Well, I guess the restart button didn't work, maybe. So they're gonna allow them to change the tires and then run the battle.
Okay,
wow.
So there's a rule I didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
so once it goes green, you have 2 seconds to leave the line. He didn't leave the line in 2 seconds. He left it on after 2 or 3 seconds, and Conor Falvey thinks there's an issue with Zalewski's car.
So he stops.
And then all of a sudden, or thinks it's a false start.
And then he goes.
So then Conor Falvey goes, well, he's just jumped ahead of me now. I can't.
You're going to catch him up.
Yeah, but because Zalewski's none the wiser to this, he's going to go now and be allowed to change his tires because it's no foul play here. This is just something weird that happened on the start line. So he's done a lap of the track, which means that he has already used half a set of tires. So what they're going to do is allow him to change the tires, and we're going to reset the battle again. So Zalewski just, I guess, some issue on the start line, maybe. It did look strange.
Yeah, I was just told in my ears while you were talking to the judges, while Vernon was putting his point across, you know, obviously the judges make that final decision. I've been told in my ears that it's the first time it's ever happened at Drift Masters that a driver hasn't left the line within that allotted 2 seconds. That is a rule, Dave, that I didn't know existed.
No.
And we're probably going to get grilled from it. We're going to get grilled that we don't know the rule book inside and out.
I have a feeling that Conor Falvey knew it.
But Conor Falvey has spent a lot of time on a simulator, spent a lot of time reading the rules. He's on the radio to his spotters now, who are in the spotters tower dead opposite where we're sitting.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of an argument here. And I think Zalewski's saying, look, no, I left the line.
So Zalewski's arguing that he left the line within the allotted time. The judges have said he left not within the allotted time. Zalewski wants to switch him around in the second half of the battle. And the judges have said that he didn't leave within that 2-second rule. Now, these are rules that are buried in books that me and you don't read because there's so many pages of them. But they've read it.
We looked at the front cover and it said Drift Masters Rules 2024. We went, oh, that's fancy.
I looked at the back cover and said, give me the gist.
It was like, who wrote the rules? We were like, Kevin O'Connell. Well, we're not going to read, that's boring, and put it down.
Yeah, we just said, oh, Vernon and Kevin David wrote it.
David Class. We were like,
Harry
that
Potter
is
over
so
here.
boring.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound entertaining.
Sounds like the instruction manual for a television.
Yeah,
so
not even that, a fridge freezer.
Yeah, so we
fridge
just said,
freezer.
Nah. But that's why the rules are there.
Of course.
So think about it, if you're in the lead position and say you see all these chase drivers who have the big, run in.
They try to get the run in.
To get the run in. You're leaning towards the chase driver at all times because you want them to get the run in. So the lead driver, if he stalls up on start line, I think what's happening is some mischief, something's happened with Zalewski here. But he's not happy about it. He thinks he's done what he's supposed to do.
And our start line marshal, Marcin, is saying to him, look, the lights went down, it went green, you didn't leave the start line. That is there for your fault.
So again, there's nothing lost or gained here. I mean, it's just change the tyres, we'll do it again. No one's scored any points and lost anything. So Zalewski's still right back where he was.
Yeah, it's all scores reset to 0.
And in many ways, if you think of it from Zalewski's point of view, he's just got a free run of the track in the conditions that they're in now, which they weren't when he was in the top 32. So he's got a free run of the track. I think, from his perspective, this could be an advantage.
Yeah. And like we say, there is nothing lost here for Zalewski, and but he will try and argue that point, Dave. Some of these drivers, Dave, they are stubborn.
Yeah, I think that we're just hearing on our headsets that Adam Zalewski arguing the point of the judges, I think, on the start line, and that is what the discussion is at the moment. So he's saying that he didn't do anything wrong in that position. But at the same time, he hasn't lost anything here, Adam Zalewski. He's still in the battle, and he just, same thing again.
Yeah.
But they're having a conversation. So I think at this moment in time, we will see Adam Zalewski return to the pits, put tyres down again. Definitely not happy with the situation.
No, certainly not.
So I think that will be both drivers heading back in. Conor Falvey's not actually worn any tyres, so I don't think I've ever seen this happen before.
No, and I was told on my headset that this is the first ever time that we have ever seen it. Conor Falvey says, look, I'll just back up, I'll wait for you up here, and next time try and leave the line when the light goes green. He's one of those impatient guys at traffic lights. That's what it was. You see the green light, he's on the horn straight away. It's like being in New York. Man, come on.
He's 16 too, so he's going to be
16 as well. He's eager.
Impatient about everything.
Yeah, he's got places to be.
So this is going to rattle both drivers now, I think. Both drivers are not in the right frame of mind here at the moment. They don't agree with what's going on the track, and this is something that I'm sure there's plenty of debate, but the rule is you have to, once the light goes green, you have to leave the light essentially instantly when the light goes green, but then they allow 2 seconds. Zalewski waits further than 2 seconds. Conor Falvey only heard it from the marshal to him that he says that Zalewski wasn't in gear or misshifted to knock him off the light, and then he went and had to stop, which obviously he didn't want to do, and then Zalewski saying, I went when I went, and it was fine. So you can believe one side, you can believe the other side. It doesn't really matter because the judges have said, from what they can see, that's the rule. We reset them. Now, let's go. No one's lost. There's no decision. It's just
Adam Zalewski's angry. He's young as well, don't forget.
We haven't got past the start line, so it's not too bad. But I think Adam Zalewski will put a set of tires in that car, and he'll reset. Conor Falvey will reset. Both guys will go back to the start line. We'll have a clean start. We'll see who goes head-to-head as we move forward to the battle that we have been really anticipating. Conor, Shanahan, and Kuba Przygoński. And I'll tell you what.
You said to me, what more do they do?
What more? I don't know, because I thought the 2 runs that they did were two of the best of the weekend. Has Kuba Przygoński just found another level now where he's like, oh, by the way, I'm even better than I was last week? And Conor,
can you imagine he just goes into the pits and he just keep turning the aggression up on his back like a big dial? Like,
just like,
oh, we were on 6, let's go to 9 now.
I'll tell you what, both these guys are going to be on 10 coming off the line here, because one thing that I know very, very well is that both these guys understand how good the other driver is. To me, Kuba Przygoński was the standout driver. I mean, Więcek took all the headlines, but Kuba, to me, with big 90s in qualifying, looking smooth, looking great, and he was aggressive and it was risky, and I think that's what he needed to add to his recipe in Drift Masters. He's added it now. Shanahan's not going to have it easy here. Kuba Przygoński's lead is one of the best on the track. He has got himself into this position one more time by having the better lead. He's got to do that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Conor Shanahan, I mean, he was some risky moves from him when we went the first time. I think there could be some bumper smacks here because there's no more close you can go. But it's for a spot in the top 8. Both of these guys want it. Who's going to take it? Przygoński in the lead, Shanahan in the chase.
Yeah, there we go. Look at this nice initiation for Przygoński. As Shanahan gets onto that back bumper, looks for the rear wheel, transitions through the centre of the circuit. Shanahan gets himself up the inside, makes it work though as Przygoński goes deep into the outside zone, falls down onto those hash marks. Now back up the circuit he goes. Shanahan with a brave transition, looks for the door. Przygoński wide on the door across the line.
Jeez Louise.
That was phenomenal.
We'll be here till the end of time with these two. There's no inch given, lead or chase here. They have this dial now. They have this track figured out.
Yeah, I mean, this is just unbelievable. I mean, if you're splitting hairs, you're talking about the lead line being a foot deeper into outside zone 2. I mean, he couldn't have got a foot there because it was not a foot to give. The line here, look at this, perfect. He goes right wide here, but doesn't go too wide. And then on the final outside zone, Dave, it
look
was absolutely beautiful.
Look at the transition from
And look at Przygoński's position in the car. Look how early he gets that final outside zone. He's deep in it, both rear wheels, bam. But Shanahan's on the rear quarter and the front door and the front wheel. He's all over him.
Oh. Przygoński's going to have to go for it here. I'm going to be 100% honest when I say I'm getting a little nervous watching this. I don't know about you guys at home, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm starting to get a little nervous. There's just a couple of things happening that's starting to get to a boiling point. You know, like you see something coming, but you know it could happen.
There's a lot of, and we spoke about this earlier, off air, off camera, just having a conversation between ourselves.
There's tension.
There's a lot of tension. It's round 5, and the championship is really upside down as we head to Poland. And I think a lot of people are saying there's only 2 places on the top step of the podium left, and everyone wants one. Every single driver is saying
you're getting less and less opportunity. You're going to get 2 opportunities now to actually salvage a season.
Yeah.
Conor Shanahan and Kuba Przygoński. Kuba Przygoński's not been on the podium for quite a long time. Conor Shanahan is trying to defend. Oh, look at this.
Oh, Shanahan's car is flashing up saying
his water temperature's shot up. No, everything's got strained now. The cars are strained, the drivers are strained. You can see Shanahan trying to turn on. I think he's trying to turn on some fan overrides maybe in the car to cool it down.
He's on the radio as well to his spotter. The button, I think, for Conor's radio headset is on the dashboard, which we often see him pressing when he comes across the start line. And he's giving him the thumbs up. He's saying, that'll do. That's cool enough.
I mean, there is no cool out there anymore. It's just cool enough. And Starline Marshall, of course, remember, not allowed to actually repair anything on the car, but he can secure.
Oh, the car is still saying high water temperatures.
Yeah, he's going to have to run it like this.
He's just going to go for it, Dave. There's no other option.
He's going to have to run it with a very high water temperature in the car, and that is nervous for Shanahan and Przygoński. Oh, take a breath, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go again. Conor Shanahan in the lead, Przygoński in the chase. Przygoński's got to go for it.
Yeah, he's going to go for it. Look at this. Has he turned up the aggression? Has he brought the fight this time to Shanahan as he fires that car through deep into outside zone 2? Oh, wow! Przygoński catches himself onto it, and he puts himself out of it as he fires that car on the grass, and that opens the door for Shanahan as he absolutely drives away and lays down a phenomenal lead line.
I told you it was coming. There's nowhere closer to go but into the back of the car, and I think that's what we saw. Now we'll have to have another look at the lead run just to make sure everything was okay, but to me it's that fine line now. You know, where do you there's got to be contact. That's what's going to decide that. That poor lady, her heart is in her mouth, like my own.
Yeah. I think ours will be in the final.
Yeah.
The way things are heating up. Yeah, and he's done some damage. Did he do any damage to...
I think he just,
I think he just, a little boop.
A little boop, and he ended up on the grass, and it was a wild ride, but I think the car is okay. I just think that he just tried to get greedy, stick the nose in a little too far, and then when Shanahan came back around, there was nowhere. It was impeding the lead car, I guess.
Oh, look at that front wheel. Oh, you missed it.
So let's have a look at it again, see if there was any excessive slowing from Conor Shanahan. That's what we're going to be watching for.
Well, it looks all good from now. Yeah, heavy amount of left foot brake, but both guys and all guys have been doing it. Look at this. He boops the front wheel on the rear wheel of Conor's car. Oh, he snaps the steering arm from what I can see.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at
the
this,
tie rod.
Dave. He's so far up on the inside. And he just left the transition and touch too late.
He wasn't far away from perfection, though. Like, he only just caught a tiny bit of hard stuff at the back of Shannon's car. Yeah, just a little too greedy, transitioned a little too late, and then you can see he hits the cones.
Takes the LEDs
I
off.
think maybe going into the grass and this curb here is what's done the steering arm.
No, it was already snapped.
Yeah?
You looked here from the other camera angle, yeah, you could see the wheel flapping away as it had snapped the steering arm.
Okay. Let you have that one.
I see that. Keen eye. That lady's like, what have I witnessed today?
She's like, I came here for a nice, casual, relaxing drift event, and you're giving me this absolute chaos from start to finish.
She's been out and bought all the merch.
Yeah.
Massive Drift Masters fan now. She's like, coming to Poland.
Going everywhere. We're all
Bought my
going to Poland.
ticket,
The whole of the world is going to Poland. Because if this is just a warm-up for Poland, my goodness. So, as the dusk settles here in Hungary, we, I would imagine, have to have a decision between Kuba Przygoński and Conor Shanahan, and because we haven't got Kuba back to his position yet, we haven't had it yet. We have it now. Here we go, going through to the top 8 is the obvious decision. Conor Shanahan, Kuba Przygoński deemed at fault for being a little too aggressive in the chase and sticking his nose in it. That's what he did.
Yeah, and hearing that Conor didn't want to bring the car back to the start line to get the result because the car is seriously hot. He wanted to get it back to the paddock and get it cooled down because he knew he had the battle won and he wanted to get ready for the Great 8.
I heard the phrase last legs, that the car is on its last legs, so they're going to go try and fix that. Now we have got the rerun of the start of Adam Zalewski and Conor Falvey. So a little bit of an interesting start from Zalewski and Falvey, something we haven't seen before. We didn't even get into the run.
No.
So we're going to go back at it again. Adam Zalewski in the lead position, and the higher qualifier, Conor Falvey, in the chase position as the chase driver. We haven't seen these two drivers head-to-head so far. Two young talents on the grid, although Zalewski around a little while now, and he's done a lot of damage around Europe, and he's won a championship. Conor Falvey, a rookie this year. Big challenge ahead. Nervous times in the dark here in Hungary for Zalewski and Conor Falvey. Little rattled both drivers after an unusual issue on the start line the first time around. Here we go. Now Zalewski slots it into gear. We're hoping for a clean start here from both drivers and get into that first corner. Marcin gives the thumbs up to both drivers, and here we go. Last space in the top 8 up for grabs.
Yeah, we'll wait for that green light. We get it this time. We get a clean start from both guys. Through the gears they come, absolutely hammering down. Zalewski's angry. He wants this one. Look at Conor Falvey, falls on the inside as Zalewski gets himself into the outside zone, but there's no shaking Conor Falvey as he flicks that car from left to right, finds the front wheel of that GT86. He won't let Zalewski get away. Conor Falvey, the 16-year-old, the rookie, he's angry at Zalewski for playing games, and look at this as Falvey sticks it to the former champion.
Oh, well, we got to break this one now. A lot going on there.
A lot going on there, Dave.
I'll tell you what, I think from watching it, you were shouting, I was watching. And I was watching some good moments and some bad moments. Conor Falvey very shallow on the initiation here. Takes a very inside line behind Zalewski. Zalewski, not on a huge amount of angle, but does go right to that outer zone. You can see Falvey gets the proximity. Good lead run from Adam Zalewski there as he takes it out wide. Now Conor Falvey starts to bring the fight here. Good first transition. The second is even better. Gets up onto the door of Adam Zalewski. Really nice line. Zalewski's lead run, though, very spot on. Really nice from Zalewski as Conor Falvey fires down on the inside as they come through that last corner. And Zalewski goes wide. Falvey does an early transition with the lead car, takes the dive and goes up onto the door. But look at Zalewski's line. Absolutely dialed there in the lead position. So I would say good chase run from Falvey, but only because the lead run was so spot on from Zalewski.
I think both guys driving super aggressively.
Yeah, very aggressively.
They are angry now.
And now Conor Falvey in the lead. He hasn't qualified as high as Zalewski. He hasn't put those runs in that Zalewski has. So Zalewski's going to have to come out with some aggression. You can see him warming those front tires, getting all the debris off them before he heads to the start line. Conor Falvey on the start line. They're going to have a little look at cooling down Zalewski's car. He says he's good to go. He says he's ready to go. He wants to keep those tires as warm as possible. And Conor Falvey in the lead position, Adam Zalewski in the chase position. What happens next? Well, we got to sit back and watch. It's for a spot in the top 8. Here we go.
Yeah, through the chicane, the last spot in the Great 8 awaits for one of these guys. Who's it going to be? Through the gears they come. Zalewski falls falls into formation as now Falvey gets himself nice and high up on that bank into the outside zone, but there's no shaking Adam Zalewski as he transitions down onto the door. He goes on, he backs it in, and he over-rotates. Zalewski over-rotates, and Conor Falvey absolutely smokes it across the line.
Oh. So we got to have a look at the lead run. That's what we got to look at, because Ian, we talked about it all day. You think it's going to go one way, but we have to. It's all. We're watching the chase car naturally, so we've got to have a look and see about the chase run. So Conor Falvey goes into that lead position, takes it wide to the edge of the circuit. Zalewski's right there with him. This is really good chasing from Zalewski at this point. As they transition back, Falvey just dips a wheel into that zone. As he heads out, Zalewski right up onto the corner. This is where Falvey starts to try and dip it in towards the inside of the track. And Zalewski, does he get caught in the smoke?
I think Zalewski's deeper on that zone, and I think he gets caught on the marbles, because watch where Zalewski's position is as he comes through that zone, right? Look, goes deeper, and I think he goes on a part of the circuit where no chase car has really gone, because they're normally further down on the inside on the front wheel.
Well, let's have a look at this.
Look, watch where his position is. He's on the rear wheel, and he's going to over-rotate.
Well, this woman got it live.
Live. If you're watching that, you're watching...
I say woman, but it's clearly a man.
It's clearly a man.
Or a boy, even.
Boy, yep.
It's dark out here. So let's see if let's see which way it goes. You can see Zalewski having a conversation with Conor Falvey here, probably about that start.
They're still arguing about the start of it. These kids.
Yeah, these kids out here. But the future is very bright for drifting. If you've got youngsters out here this passionate about things, I don't think I cared about anything at this age as much. And let's see which way it goes. Going through to the top 8 is Conor Falvey gets the win, goes through to the top 8. And I'm telling you what, that's a big win for Conor Falvey, because Adam Zalewski is one of the best in the business. And I'll tell you what, the stories from tonight will be living on a long time. And who knows what's going to happen.
You're looking at my sheet, because you see my face a minute ago, and I'm covering up my homework, Dave.
Conor Falvey is smiling now, but he's got a rematch ahead of him from Riga. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be an interesting one. Look, I've got to say, Adam Zalewski, I mean, what I think is great sometimes, and I know he's not going to think of this now, when you're that close on the edge and you're entertaining the fans and you're giving it your all and you make a mistake, it's better than just being 2 car lengths behind being sweet.
100%.
So this is how, I mean, look at this. Lauri Heinonen against Jack Shanahan in the first battle of our top 8. Itay Sadeh against Kevin Piskolty, Korpuliński against Conor Shanahan, and Arne Kvia against Conor Falvey in a repeat from Riga. So it's time to head to our top 8. Well, you think you've seen it all?
No, not yet.
Yeah, not yet. We are into our top 8. Lauri Heinonen goes up against Jack Shanahan. Lauri Heinonen now, I don't know where he sits in the championship order. We won't know till the end of the event because it's not over yet. We don't know. The scores are still being calculated because he's still in the mix. McKeever went out. Dean went out. And now Lauri Heinen's in the driver's seat of the championship if he can take down Jack Shanahan. Jack Shanahan has taken down Piotr Więcek, so that is where we sit right now. It could not be more tense. It could not be more extreme. These guys are ready to throw down, and it means more than anything in the world than that ever has happened before to these two right now.
It means the world, and it means more to Lauri Heinonen right now. But Jack will know that if Conor's in contention, he can stop Heinonen and get Conor further up. They fire in. Look at the initiation from Lauri Heinonen. Jack deals with it as he fires on more angle. Heinonen buried into the wall, absolutely ripping through the circuit. Is Lauri Heinonen. Jack doesn't have an answer right now, but now he starts to climb down, starts to climb onto the door. And that S13 as they fire through. This is so fast across the line.
Lauri Heinonen just went into warp speed on that last corner.
What was that?
Where did he pull a gear? Something happened. He just took off. And I'm not sure Conor Shanahan or Jack Shanahan.
There's too many Shanahans, too many Conors.
There's not a Shanahan in the land that was ready for that. I mean, I'll also say Jack undershade. This is a little mistake, I think. He comes in shallow.
He comes in shallow, yeah.
And he gets a little bit caught by Lauri's very, I would say, flamboyant angle. But look at this from Lauri.
He's in the wall.
Oh, my goodness. Tags the wall as he comes through there. And Jack Shanahan doing a good job. I mean, there's no mistakes here. But that lead run, I think he did top qualifying with that lead run.
Yeah, and that's what he couldn't do yesterday. He had those mechanical issues with the car, which he hasn't had all year.
Just here, look. Whoom, he just takes off.
And Jack can do nothing. He's not even on the foot brake at all. Jack is sacrificing
Lauri's on the right line.
Yeah. Jack's not on the foot brake trying to sacrifice any pace. He's full throttle and he still can't gain on him, even by shortcutting circuit.
I think, and this is only me because it means nothing, but I think after the first run, I would say advantage Heinonen. Let's see where we go here.
Well, he's got the pace. Can he deal with Jack Shanahan right now? They're coming down. A big flick in from Shanahan. Keeps it controlled, though. Now looks for that outside zone. Heinenen's in the smoke. We can't even see him. He's that close. Fires it across the circuit. Heinonen needs to apply a little pressure here. Starts to turn the screw a little, and he needs to get something up on Jack as he fires on the transition. Can he get off onto the door across the line? And he can, but the lead line from Jack wasn't the cleanest.
I don't know.
The outside zone, last outside zone.
Yeah.
Me old mate Dave, have a look. I'm just going to say, have a look.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look.
Right. Heinonen matches the angle initiation. That's better than Jack Shanahan, in my opinion. Again, we're not judging this. We have no authority.
Jack's perfect here.
This is really good from Shanahan. You can see half his car is disassembling as he goes through there. Heinonen goes in, not as close on proximity there. Jack Shanahan definitely had more proximity through that section of the course. You can see Heinonen, he's like a truck wheel he has in there. It's just a big steering wheel. It's a big steering wheel.
Is it a big steering wheel or is he a small guy?
Hey, perspective. You never know.
It's camera angle.
It's the camera angle. Here, Lauri goes close here. This is the difference maker. Look
where Jack is.
Yeah, not out to the outer zone as much as Lauri was, and Lauri's closer. So at the end of the run, you've got to give it game, set, and match to Lauri. But the rest of it, still up for debate. I don't know.
Jack's like, pull the handbrake and you were gone.
You pulled the gear and you were gone. So let's see what happens as we go to the top. It's Lauri Heinonen getting the win. He's going to the top 4. He's going to the semi-finals. Lauri Heinonen could be back in the driver's seat in this championship.
I tell you what, I think there was a little bit of argument there between those two guys.
Oh, really?
Lauri Heinenen's face was a bit of a picture there, Dave, as they had a bit of an argument. Jack said something about handbrake. Lauri Heinonen stood there a little bit disgruntled and didn't really agree.
Wasn't happy about it. And it wouldn't be like Jack Shanahan to be disgruntled.
No, he's very happy all the time.
First for everything. So Lauri Heinonen, look at Lauri Heinonen. He's ready to drive up the bank, and I don't know, he's very angry.
He's angry. I think there was an argument there between those two guys. We didn't catch on camera.
I don't think he was happy with what Jack Shanahan said to him.
No.
But he gives a wave. I'm waving angry.
And I tell you what Lauri Heinonen won't care about. He won't care about Jack's opinion because he's in the final 4. That's all that Lauri cares about.
And Lauri Heinonen needed that.
Yeah. Oh, he needed those points back. He needed a shot at the podium. We go back to the start line to another heated battle. And I tell you what, Hungary is going to erupt if this one goes the way that they want it to go. It will be Kevin Piskolty to take on Itay Sadeh. Itay Sadeh, a man that wrecked the car in Riga just a few weeks ago, now sits in a grade 8, looking strong.
I'm going to put it out there and say Itay Sadeh is probably the most consistent driver that hasn't podiumed this year.
Yes.
So Piskolty's got his work cut out here. I know Piskolty's emotionally driven. He's driven by the fans. He's got all of this nostalgia to this event. He told me I used to stand over there on corner 1 and see the cars come through the last time we were here. Now he's driving that car through that corner. This is a big moment for him. He cannot let the occasion get the best of him.
No, he can't.
Because Itay Sadeh has no reference point here. He's never been to Hungary before. So he's just driving the track straight up. Piskolty's got to manage that emotion. He's very emotional in that car.
He certainly is emotional, Dave, and he does let his emotion get to his head sometimes. But can he keep that emotion at bay? Can he use it to fuel him? Can he use it to rise that aggression in his belly? Or will he see the lights illuminating on the start line? We wait for that green light. It is go. Itay Sadeh to lead out Kevin Piskolty for a place in the final 4. And look at this. Oh, big one. And Itay Sadeh messes up the initiation. And that really upsets Kevin Piskolty. Piskolty way off plan. Now has to get himself back into formation, back onto that line. Piskolty shuts it down. It's scrappy from both guys. Piskolty reinitiates once again. Itay Sadeh fires into that final outside zone and across the line. That was a big ball of mess.
That was the commentator's curse.
That was a big ball of mess.
I'm never saying the word consistent again on air.
No, you ruined him. He was flying until you said that.
Shouldn't have said, oh, he's consistent.
He's really good.
He never makes a mistake. And
ever. Watch this. Big mistake. Kevin Piskolty was... God, he was bringing the heat. Watch this. Oh, my God, it was closer than what I thought.
That could have been a big collision. That could have been 2 guys in the wall. So does Itay come off throttle there, or what happens? Something went very wrong.
It was almost like he went for a clutch kick and the car didn't react.
Yeah.
Because the back of the car dipped down. You can see the whole car kind of shake. And from then on out, really, Piskolty's really, like, messed up then. You know, as soon as a driver in front makes a mistake, it really shakes the...
I think judges having a look. I mean, this is an angle we're not watching, but I hear in my headset, you know, the oracle in the sky that tells us everything.
Yeah, it tells us lots of
saying
stuff.
that there may have been a little bit of contact on that first corner. So, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just hearing it. I said may. I didn't say definitely.
I don't know.
So
he'll tell the star line marshal. Marcin tells everyone. He doesn't. He's not.
I think we're going to go again here. Well, that was definitely a mistake from Itay Sadeh. We know that.
Well, yeah, but you can't say that last statement and then say it was a mistake from Itay Sadeh.
It's a mistake from Itay Sadeh on the first run.
Are you listening to the judges?
A little bit. I heard
copying
one
everyone's homework. Stop it. You're going to get yourself sacked. You carry on like that.
I made up that call on my own. They told me nothing. So yeah.
See, ladies and gentlemen, what I have to work with every weekend.
Yeah, look, it was Itay Sadeh deemed at fault on the first corner.
You said contact, and then you backtracked. And
I'm not sure if there was or there wasn't. I couldn't see. But they said he was deemed at fault either way.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, here we go. They're back on the line. They get the green light, ready to rock and roll. Will be Piskolty to lead out Itay Sadeh. And you know what? I think the whole of Hungary right now think that Kevin Piskolty's got this one in the bag. Well, no one knows at the moment. Itay Sadeh almost fires him backwards. That was really weird. But he gets the job done nevertheless. Now Piskolty puts a back bumper into the wall. He's not messing around. He's absolutely up and gone. And Itay Sadeh is making some huge sacrifices to try and gain proximity, but he is gone.
You know what, halfway through the run, you could hear the Hungarian audience just starting to rise. They were just, and then they kind of went quiet, going, don't mess it up now, Kevin.
Don't mess it up now, Kevin.
Just get it across the line. And he did. He did exactly what they wanted him to do here in the attendance.
Me and you looked at each other when Itay Sadeh come through that outside
Yeah, I thought
zone.
he was going on the wall here. He just started washing.
Look at the angle. The car just from nowhere started to gain more angle. And
I think something weird's happening with his car on that first corner. Whatever it is, under a steer or something, I'm not sure. But definitely, I mean, the obvious choice here is Kevin Piskolty. He absolutely leaves him. But I don't know. Piskolty is a strange one for me tonight. He's got all the heart in the world, but I can't really test it because everything is a bit messy.
Yeah.
You can't see him door to door yet. You don't know where he sits there.
He's not really been tested.
No. But I think this is going to be probably his proudest moment of his drift career because I think he's going to go to the top 4 in his home event, the one that he watched.
And you know what? I think any spot on that podium or even 4th place to him will be a win this weekend.
Top 4 is guaranteed in about 3, 2, 1. Going through to the top 4 is Kevin Piskolty from Hungary, the hometown hero. His highest result of the year is in front of his home fans, and he can barely believe it. Emotions are flying here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, look, these hometown heroes, these stories, Dave, are incredible, and I'm here for them. I love them. James Dean winning in Ireland, Lauri Heinonen winning in Finland.
I'm just starting to believe myself now. I'm starting to believe.
I'm starting to slip on the Kevin Piskolty jersey right now. I'm here in the commentary tower.
I was like, I'm beginning to believe.
The Kevin Piskolty tattoo is appearing on my leg out of nowhere.
I'll tell you what, I mean, sometimes you just have one of those nights.
Sometimes everything falls into place.
And tonight has been one of those nights for Kevin Piskolty so far.
Yeah.
So, who's to say? He's 2 battles away from his first ever Drift Masters victory in his hometown. But there's a long way to go. A long way to go. But you know what? He's had a good day either way. I think a bit of the pressure is lifting now. I think he can actually go out there and have some fun.
I think he believes as well, Dave.
I think he believes.
Because I think sometimes
he's probably sitting in the car daydreaming a week ago, just driving along the road going, imagine I won Hungary in front of everyone I know in the event that I first discovered Drift Masters a couple of years later. Imagine that story. Ina David eat that up. They'd love that.
They'd love that.
They'd love that.
They'd sell that to the national paper.
They would. So here we go. We move it along to our next battle, and it just keeps coming all the way through. Paweł Korpuliński will go head-to-head with Conor Shanahan. 2 guys who have been on the podium in Riga. But I think Korpuliński wants it to be the other way around now.
Yep, I think he does, Dave, and I think he wants to make sure that he's in that final 4 and not Conor Shanahan. Well, Conor Shanahan, he throws his hands in the air. I'm not sure if everything's all good.
I think the car is just hanging in there.
I think it is just hanging in there, and I think Conor Shanahan's getting a little frustrated. It's taking so long to get off the line because he knows that car is hot and he wants to get it moving. He wants to go. Well, here we go. It looks like we are going to get the green light. And Conor Shanahan starts to creep off the line already. Korpuliński to lead out. Conor Shanahan for a spot in the final 4 away. Shanahan believes he could claw back the points. He could get himself back into the championship fight, and now starts to apply the pressure. Korpuliński goes almost 90 degrees to the wall, but it's not shaking Shanahan as he absolutely rips through the circuit. Korpuliński puts that car right where it needs to be, right to the edge of the circuit. Shanahan Shanahan goes for a brave transition. Korpuliński puts it in the outside zone, but Shanahan's on him.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous stuff from Conor Shanahan there. I mean, there's no right to get away with those two transitions.
That is bananas.
Like, you have to be driving with such a blind confidence to get away. Like, not even confidence, you've gone beyond that, because how could you know? The transition, I mean, I've got to give 100% marks to Korpuliński for that lead run. It was exceptional. Korpuliński, look at this. Inch perfect, beautiful. But then you see the transition starts going. Look at this from Shanahan. Look at the headlights, how small they go on the bumper. Look. Oh my goodness me. Gets up onto the door, Korpuliński goes to the wall. And that's an excellent lead run from Korpuliński. Does everything the judges want him to do. And this last transition, I just don't even know how this makes sense. Look, he just has a little left foot brake and then, like, I mean, that doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
How does he get away with that? But then look at the lead run. Korpuliński got every zone on the track. So we know Korpuliński's got an amazing lead. Conor Shanahan's put in an amazing chase. Korpuliński has to turn a little wild here. He's got to go for some crazy dust, because the dives are what Conor Shanahan's going to win this on if Korpuliński doesn't pull off something similar. Now Paweł's going to turn it up. He's got to go for it. He's got to take it to a risky spot here.
He certainly has. Shanahan fires in. Korpuliński knows he needs to match everything that Shanahan did, and he's already given him the room to manoeuvre. Oh, Korpuliński goes early on the transition. He's early once again. He knows he needs to fall down onto the inside. They get through the outside zone, and now Korpuliński looks for that rear wheel. Shanahan flicks it through. Korpuliński almost makes contact across the line. They are so fast now.
My goodness. This is a party now. Oh, man.
They're getting faster and faster.
It's just,
and faster.
yeah, it's kind of scary to watch at times. I mean, I braced a couple of times there because I thought it was a crash. Korpuliński, look at this. The first transition was pretty close. Look, very close. This one, though. Oh, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Early handbrake from Shanahan, though, there on the transition. You spot it there on the transition. That's the only kind of thing you could take away from that lead run. We're just nitpicking now because they're just, these guys are ridiculous. Ridiculous! I mean, where I'm sitting, I think everyone else has seen the same thing. Two amazing lead runs, a bit more aggression from Shanahan in the chase, but he does pull a little handbrake in the lead. Where's it going to sit?
Shanahan not out of the car.
I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on here. Has the car shut down? Is there a problem? It's going to be a tight one here. It's going to be a very tight decision. Very tight decision.
There could be a lot in this. If Shanahan gets the win.
I'm just thinking, I don't know how many one more times that Conor Shanahan's car could take.
But even if he gets the win and advances through to the final four, can Shanahan even carry on in competition? He shakes his head at Korpuliński, and I think he's saying that car is literally hanging on by a thread right now. Well, decision's in, Dave.
So here we go. It's the decision in, and it's going to be a one more time. A one more time.
Shanahan.
I think Conor Shanahan is saying this car is not going to keep going all night. And Paweł Korpuliński, I mean, that's a fair call for me. One more time makes sense, in my opinion.
There's a lot of dejection from Conor Shanahan, Dave, and a few profanities coming out of his mouth. I don't think that Conor Shanahan's car can hold on for much longer.
Yeah, I think he thinks that the car had a couple of more runs in it. Now, he's been in one more times, I think, than anybody else tonight, which means his car has done more laps than anybody else.
Well, he's been in one more times, plus his top 32 battle. Yeah, I mean...
He's probably done more laps than anybody on the track, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah.
So that means that car is under more pressure than any other car out there. And he's now requesting to the marshals, I'm hearing from, that he needs to go straight from the tyre warming and start the run. He cannot let the car idle, it overheats.
Oh, wow.
So there is, you know, he can do that, but I'll tell you what, it's been a night. It's been a night already, Ian, and it's not even over.
It's not even over. It's not even been a night yet.
Can I take much more of this? Well, we're moving along to our next top 8 battle, which is our two guys who have not made the semi-finals this year yet.
Breaking news, the head gasket has failed in Conor Shanahan's engine. They're going to try a quick fix, and he's going to try and get back to the line and get it to run it. He just wants to run as it is. He wants to risk the engine for a final 4 spot for the points.
Arne, Kvia and Conor Falvey line up for a top 8 battle. Neither driver making the top 4 this season so far. This would be a big moment for the Norwegian or the Irishman. They went head-to-head in Riga, and on that occasion, Conor Falvey took down Kvia. Kvia's coming for revenge here.
Yeah, he'll want the revenge. The Sledgehammer said he's back this year, and he wants to get a podium. He needs a podium. He needs something to boost him once again back to the top, to get his name back in everyone's mouth. But at the moment, the young gun, the man, the rookie, who's leading the rookie championship, he says, it's all about me this year. You've had your time.
Yeah, but I'm going to say Kvia looks unstoppable tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a different flavour to him this weekend. Kvia in the lead position is going to try and throw it all out there as they come off the lines for a spot in the semi-final. In the lead, Kvia in the chase, Falvey.
Oh, look at this for Falvey, though. He's on the back bumper already. He knows Kvia, and he knows his style. He knows what he's like. And look at this from Falvey. He's not risking anything. He's risking the front of the car, that's for sure. As they go down onto the wall, Conor Falvey pushes up onto the door of Torani Kvia as Kvia can't elude the 16-year-old from Ireland. They fire through, and he loses some ground across the line.
No, this is just... I mean, we know what Kvia is made of. I mean, I remember years ago watching this driver for the first time thinking there's something special about Torani Kvia. How he has that flair, that style. He doesn't compromise it. He gives it to you every single time. But it hasn't been the perfect season for him. He's been knocked out a lot of 32s and 16s. He took down Oren Nielsen, and you look at this on the replay, Conor Falvey, well, he threw the kitchen sink. There's nothing more Falvey had. And the lead run from Kvia is just absolutely sensational.
It's beautiful, Dave. It's absolutely beautiful. The judges will be loving that lead line. There was not a foot wrong for me for Torani Kvia. He absolutely dialed. And look at this inside the car. He's laser focused. Not even a bother for Kvia as they transition through that scary part of the circuit. It's so narrow down there, and he flicks it into that final outside zone. Absolutely nails it. Falvey just couldn't really climb up onto the door.
No. Oh, it's a close one. I'll tell you what, though, the lead run from Kvia, job done. Job done in the lead. Now he's got to be aggressive in the chase. But Kvia has been very aggressive in Riga with Conor Falvey, and he hit him.
Yep.
And it knocked him out of competition. So, like, where do you play your mindset if you're Kvia? Do you go all out, or do you back off a little bit and hope Falvey makes a mistake?
In the final four. He's not going to back off.
No. It's the final four up for grabs.
Yeah.
And then if you get to the final four, remember, you get 2 shots at the podium. So it's a massive step for all of these drivers right now as Conor Falvey sits in that lead position, Torani Kvia in the chase. Conor Falvey has never been to the top 4 in European competition. Kvia has tasted that podium before, and he wants to taste it again. Here we go. Marcin gives the word. We are ready to rock and roll. Semi-final space up for grabs. Falvey to lead in Kvia.
Yeah, here we go. Through the chicane they go. Clean start from both guys through the gears. Falvey looks for a nice, simple initiation. Fires that car in. Puts foot to floor. Kvia onto that rear wheel straight away as Falvey transitions. Kvia goes a little early. Looks for the door of Conor Falvey S15, but Falvey a little shy on the outside zone. Starting to fall apart in that lead position. Now Falvey finds the outside zone, but Kvia's still with him. Kvia's glued to him all across the line.
Kvia, I mean, it wasn't the perfect lead run from Conor Falvey, and Kvia dealt with it. He really adapted to everything that Conor Falvey did. And I think Kvia just woke up this morning and said, I'm having this.
This is mine.
This is mine. And I think from where I'm sitting, Conor Falvey quite late on initiation here, goes very wide to the edge of the track here. I'm not sure he makes it all the way into the zone or as deep as he would have liked. He does get it. Kvia's there right with him the whole way through the run. Look at this. Kvia, though, he just takes the risk every time. Very late to the zone.
So close.
Very late to the zone from Conor Falvey in the lead position there, as Kvia looks like he's very controlled in the chase. I think this track is suiting Torani Kvia. Again, no major mistakes from Conor Falvey in the lead, but aggression-wise, we'll see which way it goes. Of course, we're not judges.
No.
We don't know. Let's see which way it drops in. A space in the final 4 up for grabs. And it's Torani Kvia getting the win and going through. And I'll tell you what, he'll be, look at this, Torani Kvia. He's been waiting on this for so long.
So long.
Just to prove that he's still got it, and he definitely does.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
He never lost it.
No, I think for Conor Falvey, he'll be pretty proud of that one. If you look at Conor Falvey's year, he comes in as an unknown. Mechanical failure, doesn't qualify round 1, top 32 round 2, then he goes to top 16, now 2 top 8s.
He's at 2 top 16s, 2 top 8s.
So pretty good stuff from Conor Falvey, but the man of the moment right now is Torani Kvia, and he's with Becky.
Tor, an incredible evening. You find yourself heading into the top 4 there. Wow, those transitions. What is it like just popping through the smoke with the lights in the night? Give us an update.
The visibility is really poor now with the smoke hanging in the track, but yeah, you can see the taillight at least. So yeah, I'm having such a great time now. We dialed me down by 10%, and it seems to be working. I'm not overshooting, but let's see. We're in the top 4. I might be going for something big now.
Well, we absolutely hope so. Good luck in the final for their tour.
Well, I mean, if he hasn't been going for big things already, I'm not quite sure how much more Kvia can go. Well, he is in that Final 4, but we only have 3 contenders in that Final 4. We need to find out what's going on in the paddock between Conor Shanahan and that GT86. Now, I was told in my headset in that interview that Becky was doing with Arne Kvia that our technical director, Maciej Polody, has gone down to the paddock to make sure that Conor Shanahan's car will be safe to run. Now, the head gasket may have failed, but what they don't want is that car to leak any fluids on the circuit before the Final 4 or during that battle with Paweł Korpuliński. So he is down there to make sure that whatever repairs get done, whatever happens to Conor Shanahan's car, it is 110%, or at least as close to that as it can be, and it is safe to run. So we are waiting on word down there in the paddock of what is going on behind the scenes with Conor Shanahan's car. We know Paweł Korpuliński, that car working 110% himself. He is in the zone. He said to me he feels very comfortable here in Hungary. He said he likes the circuit, he likes being in Hungary, and he's liking the way that things are going for him this year. So he's ready to rock and roll. We need to find out what's going on with Conor Shanahan. Will he make it to the line? Who knows right now? It could all be hanging in the balance for Conor Shanahan. Just over a car issue. We know that championship has opened up massively after losing James Dean, Dwayne McKeever, Lauri Heinonen still in the question, but there are a lot of positions opening up, and I think by the end of today, that championship order is going to get mixed up. In the Final 4, we will see Lauri Heinonen take on Kevin Piskolty for a spot in the first and second place battle. And then between Conor Shanahan and Paweł Korpuliński, well, they'll be going, one of those will be going against Arne Kvia for the other spot in the first and second place playoff. Dave, the tension down in the Shanahan's paddock right now may be very, very...
So, let me get this straight.
Yep.
Just going to try and...
You're trying to get your head around what I just said.
I took another moment to talk to some of the judges and stuff, and they're just saying that it's a sketch. There's a lot of sketchy runs out there. They're right on the edge. They're right on the edge. He said, you know, it's going to be interesting and tough on the judges to see which way this goes from here, because the way everyone's driving, they're pushing beyond their limits. So it's not like there's no calculated driving. It's just really hanging on at times, especially with the visibility, the grip levels, and everything else. So am I right in saying that the hometown hero who watched Drift Masters for the first time in 2018 is now in the top 4?
Yep.
Which would be the fairy tale story.
Yep.
Shannon's done a head gasket.
Yep.
So they're trying to fix it somehow.
Well, they're going to try and get that car to run as close as they can. But we know that our safety marshal, Maciej Polody, is in that paddock to make sure the car is safe to run, because obviously we can't have any cars leaking fluids on circuit. We know how dangerous that is, especially halfway, 3/4 of a way through a run for the chase car.
So we got it one more time.
Yep.
Between Conor and Paweł Korpuliński.
One of those are going to make it through to
So, if Korpuliński goes top 4,
yep,
he's done 2 top 4s in a row.
Yep.
Back to business.
Yep.
Amazing driving all year. Really solid finish this season.
Oh, here we go.
Conor Shanahan saying he's got to go straight from the burnout back to the start line. Car's already overheating coming out of the pits. So this is where we're at right now with the tension. Paweł Korpuliński says, okay, everything's going good.
Yeah.
So he's starting to feel a little confident. We've got Kvia trying to regain his glory by getting to the top 4. But, I mean, there's so many stories. And Lauri Heinonen has now got an opportunity to lead the championship if he can get it all done here tonight.
Yeah.
And you want me to sit here and just stay calm for the next half an hour?
And just act cool and calm.
Yeah, oh, it's just an normal event, yeah. Just classic Drift Masters, just, you know, dull. Nothing ever happens, no stories. I mean, this sport, every time, it's like... I've never known a motorsport with as much drama as what happens in this sport. And I got to say, whether you're a massive drift fan, a first-time fan, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you watching on. But you've got to understand, this is not normal. None of these people are normal. What they're doing is normal. And the cars that they're driving don't even want to do what they're trying to do in them. They've set them up with so much grip, they don't even want to go sideways. And they got to drive through that. Take a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Drifting this year has just come alive. And now we've got Conor Shanahan going straight to the line. He said he's already overheating. Will the car last 2 runs? Who knows? He says he needs airflow through it. And Marston's going to try and get that car running as quick as he can. Thumbs up from Shanahan. I mean, what can he do? He's got a thumbs up at this point. And they've got Paweł Korpuliński now, who's looking primed and ready.
He looks dialed, Dave, as well. And you know what?
Well, he hasn't made any mistakes.
2 Final Fours would just be the dream for him, would be the fairy tale. And going to Poland to do it in front of his home crowd, I think that just, you know, tick all the boxes for him this year. Where we go through the gears, through the chicane, we get the green light. Shanahan to chase down Paweł Korpuliński. The final spot in our Final Four awaits. And look at the initiation from Korpuliński. Absolutely fires it through. No regard to any body panels or the car itself. But look at Shanahan not messing around. Korpuliński's on a ripper right now. But Shanahan's taking the advantage, using the door as a cushion right now as they fire to that final outside zone. Korpuliński on it and across the line.
Oh, this is good. This is really good from Korpuliński. And Shanahan took every advantage of that lead run. He went everywhere he needed to in the chase. Korpuliński's entry was, look, he's almost in the grass. He goes wide on the track here and stays wide. I thought he was going too wide, but I think this is going to be perfect. Watch this. Oh, he's got the track dialed now, Korpuliński. And then Conor starts to make the attack. The first one not as wild, the second definitely wild. Look at that. I mean, if you saw one move like that a couple of years ago in drifting, you'd fall off your chair.
Yep.
And you're seeing it run after run. And again here, a little left foot brake and then he goes, but it just takes a while to get up to Korpuliński here. Leave something on the table, Shanahan. Just something on the table.
Yeah.
Now the question is, does Shanahan have as good a lead run as Korpuliński? And I'm not so sure consistently he does, especially with the car giving him trouble. Oh, it's primed and ready.
I have no idea.
Primed and ready, folks. Here we go. It's for a spot in the semi-final, just to remind you, all the marbles.
Yeah, and here we go. Nice initiation from Shanahan on the handbrake for a very long time, though. And it does slow him down. It does put Korpuliński on the back foot a little bit. Korpuliński now starting to make a move, starting to hunt down Shanahan as they get into the outside zone. Now Korpuliński's on the door. Gives him a little touch, a little nudge on the door to say, I'm still here, buddy. Korpuliński looks for it on that final outside zone. Shanahan up and gone, though.
Oh, and I'm going to say it.
Shanahan's lead wasn't as clean.
And Korpuliński's chase wasn't as aggressive. We're back where we were again. We're almost back where we were. That's my face there, that balloon. It's just like,
There's a cordless drill air horn.
He's got a cordless drill air horn.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
I don't know.
MacGyver in the grandstand.
MacGyver. Made that.
He's just made that. He's got time in between the battles. It's a good lead. Shanahan stays long time on the handbrake, but he does make it work. Korpuliński not as aggressive here. Gets to the zone, Shanahan, transition. This is good from Korpuliński, stays right there. Now watch, remember the transition from Shanahan. This one from Korpuliński, he has to back a little bit off in the middle, but he gets on it. He gets well on it, Korpuliński. He's wider in the zone than Shanahan there.
Gives him a little nudge on the door there, Dave.
Yeah, that was really good from Korpuliński. And then the dive here at the end is kind of similar on both runs. Korpuliński's trying to catch him whatever way he can. I have no idea. This one is, I think if you're sitting at home and you think you've decided this one, you're lying to yourself. This is going to be down to the finest of details, and I think it's
There is water all over Korpuliński's car.
And what's the water from? Shanahan's?
Shanahan's car.
Oh, look at that. So the water from Shanahan's head gasket has gone all over Korpuliński's car, and he wouldn't have been able to turn the wipers on, and he's in the smoke.
But no, because if there's oil on there as well, it would have just blocked the windscreen.
Oh my goodness, how did Korpuliński see where he was going? This is absolutely bananas. It's got head gasket water all over the... This is nuts.
This is the craziest round of Drift Masters. Oh, and Korpuliński's saying the car was skating around.
So Korpuliński's saying...
Oh, he was just doing the hand movements of the car moving around.
So Korpuliński's saying the coolant from Shanahan's car may have been causing him to lose some grip. But then that's not judged, I guess, right? Because it was set off the start line.
Oh, I don't even know.
But what I'm saying is,
the rule book.
Conor Shanahan couldn't have planned that.
No, it's not like it's a Batmobile. It's not the James Bond car.
Just send out the spikes.
Head gasket oil release.
Yeah, hit the head gasket delete. You won't see this coming.
Me and Dave have got delusional, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. It's been a long day. Long 2 days. But we've enjoyed ourselves in Hungary.
Yeah.
And we're having a lot of fun. And we've still got some battles
Conor
to go.
Shanahan is
not on the line. He's gone back to the paddock.
He's gone back to the pits, and he's gone driving the car around to keep the car cooling down. So we don't know what's going on here. Oh, Oh, so we have a decision in, and it's Paweł Korpuliński at the win. I've got to explain this one, Ian, because it's not a judging decision. It's a safety decision. So Maciek Polity, our technical director on the track, has said that he's disqualifying Conor Shanahan for losing all his coolant onto the front of Paweł Korpuliński's car, which caused Paweł Korpuliński no vision, and it's coolant, not water, so it's slippy. So basically, Maciek Polity is saying he doesn't know how Paweł Korpuliński could see or drive behind that, but all of the water is all over the track, and it's all over Paweł Korpuliński's car. So the judge is not making the decision. They were actually looking at the run as they would normally look at it, but our technical director is saying that it was an unfair advantage for Conor Shanahan, not that he intended it,
no,
that his entire coolant system leaked and exploded all over Paweł Korpuliński's car.
Well, look, if you want first-time scenarios, that is the first time in my knowledge, Dave, and you can see it there. Look at it coming off of the track.
Yeah, look at all the water.
It's
a
like
lot of water.
Rained. It's like it's rained.
It's not a sprinkle.
That's the first time in our knowledge that a technical director has disqualified a driver, and it's the first time we've had a restart. This is bananas. I don't even understand. And now we have our final four grid set. And it's Lauri Heinonen to take on Kevin Piskolty, and Paweł Korpuliński to take on Kvia.
There's going to be a big fight now between the Finnish and the Hungarians in the crowd here, because this is a big one. Paweł Korpuliński goes up against Kvia in the other semi-final. I'll tell you what, we've seen it all. Have we seen it all? We don't know. There could be more to see. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, because we're right now heading to the semi-finals. We are here, 4 drivers remain. We started with 51, 4 remain. We've seen it all, had it all. Technical directors, false starts, wall runs, crashes, and we're only into the top 4. Lauri Heinonen right now is in the position he wants to be. He's fighting for the championship this year, but he's got an emotional, a wound-up Kevin Piskolty beside him. Piskolty wants to win it for the Hungarian crowd in attendance. Lauri Heinonen wants to win it for the Finnish fans that have travelled to every single round this year. This is a massive battle for the championship, and if Lauri Heinonen can take this to the final, he's going to be primed and ready for Poland in a few weeks. But Piskolty, well, he could spoil the party and start another here tonight. Here we go.
Yeah, through the gears, down through the chicane they come. Look at Piskolty onto the back bumper already. Heinonen throws in that big flamboyant initiation, and it works for him once again. Piskolty deals with it, creeps up the inside. Piskolty knows what Lauri Heinenen's all about. And look at Piskolty onto the front wheel for contact. And Piskolty has to shut it down. Heinonen continues to run. Piskolty gets back into it, but Piskolty made his own mistake.
He did. He went too aggressive, way too aggressive. He hit Lauri Heinonen, and I think he did damage to the car, or he broke something in the car, or something stalled him off angle, or he dropped off boost, or something happened. But Piskolty, he just went for it. It didn't work out.
But he had to go for it. You're battling Lauri Heinonen, a man who's been so close to a championship for 2 years running now, and he's just not made it there. And you know that Lauri Heinonen, once he's in the zone, when he's there, he's killer. He hit the front wheel, I do believe, and it just upset the front wheel of Kevin Piskolty.
Wheel-to-wheel drifting.
Look at this, watch as he creeps down. Yeah, look, the smoke come off of both front wheels there. And you know what? It's very lucky that that front wheel of Heinenen's didn't slow and he didn't put Heinonen into a spin.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, is there any damage on Piskolty's car? It's a pretty heavy hit to the front wheel of Heinenen's car. I mean, you can tell. Definitely, I mean, not even going to say it, because it's still another run to go, and anything can happen. Anything can happen, but Piskolty just pushed that a little too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Well, here we go. We get the green light ready to rock and roll. Piskolty to lead out Heinonen for the spot in the first and second playoff. The fire in, absolutely incredible. Piskolty drops way down, though. Can he get an outside zone? Of course he can. He knows his track like the back of his hand. Flicks it across the circuit. Heinonen on him, though, as Piskolty goes deep into the wall. Beautiful lead line so far from Kevin Piskolty as he starts to pull away from Heinonen. Heinonen not doing too much right now, as he knows he's almost got this one in the bag.
I'll tell you what, Lauri Heinonen, he didn't even need to push that hard, and he did. He's confident. If he thinks he can go that close when he doesn't need to, when he needs to, he's comfortable in that position. I think Lauri Heinonen would have taken that run as a bit of practice, which for, I'm not going to jump ahead, but I think that's for the final.
Yeah.
But Kevin Piskolty could still get a podium. Just going to put it out there. If he does lose, he can go third and fourth place playoff.
He could still go third and fourth place playoff, yeah.
But for me, watching that, honestly, I mean, we don't like to speculate, but I just don't see anything other than a mistake from Piskolty in the chase. Lauri Heinonen on rails the whole way through that run.
I told you, it's a train station this weekend.
Yeah. And he's
beautiful.
He's driving
Piskolty's lead line is absolutely textbook as well, Dave. You could see that man's had a lot of seat time on this track because he knows it so well. Look at that line.
Well, here's my thing. Lauri Heinonen is driving like a champion.
He's driving like a champion.
He's going through every hurdle
They're
today.
saying sorry to each other now.
Yeah, going through every hurdle. And these are two very nice gentlemen behind the scenes. Kevin Piskolty, I think he knows what's going to happen next. Going through to the final of round 5 is Lauri Heinonen. Lauri Heinonen goes through to the top. Well, the top, I say the top 2, obviously. But I don't know, does he go top of the championship? I don't know. I don't have the maths.
Don't know, Dave. Don't.
Someone give me a calculator.
It's too soon.
Oh, there's a lot going on.
It's too much.
There's a lot going on. The Hungarian fans, though, will still might have something to cheer about, because then it will be the loser of Korpuliński and Kvia that will go up against Piskolty for 3rd step on the podium. So we could still have a bit of a celebration here for the Hungarians if they got a podium. But I'm just going to put it out there. I think Piskolty had a brave performance, and he's not done yet.
No, I think
Lauri Heinen's in the final, and whether he wins or loses that final, that's a lot of points in the bag for Lauri Heinonen. A lot. And McKeever and Shanahan and James Dean are watching on going, oh, maybe a missed opportunity here. Lauri Heinonen didn't miss that opportunity. He went for it. And I got to say, commiserations to James Dean and Dwayne McKeever, who actually just didn't have any choice in the matter. No. It was a mechanical failures that knocked him out of the top 32, but that's drifting. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, unfortunately, and James Dean said it, you know, you have weekends where it all goes to plan, you have months and almost a year for James Dean where it's gone to plan, but unfortunately sometimes it all just comes crumbling down, and one little thing, one component can take you out of it. And we see on board with Lauri Heinonen as he scrubs them front tyres, he'll head back to the pits and prep that car ready for the final battle. But who will it be against, Dave? Will it be against this man, the Norwegian sledgehammer, who has been threatening to get back into form, threatening to get back into a final?
I'm just about to say, nobody's been more consistent than Paweł Korpuliński this weekend, and nobody's been more aggressive than Arne Kvia. Make of that what you will. You're about to watch what happens when you put consistency versus madness, and it sometimes can work both ways. So it's for the other start in the final against Lauri Heinonen. Kvia and Korpuliński, if I'm not mistaken, have never made it to a final of Drift Masters. Kvia's hit 3rd step on the podium, if I'm not mistaken. And I know Korpuliński's multiple times hit 3rd step on the podium.
I think you're right. But my brain is mashed.
Yeah, I'm going to make a big statement and say this would be the biggest achievement of their drift career, whoever wins this. Not that I like to build things up, you know me. I'm not a fan of hype or anything.
You're not a big hype man.
No, I try to play it down, but I think this is a big one. Yeah. This is a big one here. So, Korpuliński, Kvia, top 4. Who's going to the final? Heinen's in there. Who will he be facing? Will it be Poland? Will it be Norway? Oh, Kvia's in the chase position. He's going to come in here like a ton of bricks into that first corner. And Korpuliński's got that lead run dialed, so Kvia's going to, his spotter's going to know. His spotter's going to say, Kvia, he's going to say, Tor, this guy's got it. You can go. Yeah. He's going to make it happen. It's full steam here. A little bit of air coming through. It's hot out there still.
It's still hot out there.
Yeah. Still very, very humid in the cars. You can see how red their faces are, how watery their eyes are. They've lost a lot of bodily fluid, but they'll be happy if they can splash some champagne at the end of the day. Here we go. Paweł Korpuliński in the lead, the final up for grabs.
Yeah, and who's it going to be? Korpuliński goes for that wild, wide initiation, and it opens the door for Arne Kvia as he takes one foot in. And look at this, Kvia bouncing across the circuit. He's aggressive, as he always is, but look at the lead line from Paweł Korpuliński. It's so dialed, it's in the zone, it's right where it needs to be, and Kvia needs to find that door, and he can across the line.
I think that's exactly what I expected. Yeah, brilliant lead run, aggressive chase run. I mean, they've got it dialed now. All these drivers in this stage of the competition, it's millimeters now. It's all the smallest of nuances that the judges are going to have to look at to see which way they divide the bracket now. And oh, Kvia is so close there, but watch Korpuliński, it's so smooth.
He's like the best butter you can buy, Dave. Do you know that? It's the smoothest butter you can buy because look at the line. No mistakes, no excessive braking. It's absolutely flawless.
I think you would show someone, if we were back here on this circuit next year, this run, and go, that's what we want you to do.
That's what you want you to do.
That's your lead run, that's your chase run. Look at that, just perfectly timed. I mean, Kvia here just a little late on the transition, could have got a little closer, but then he makes up for it.
It's a big dive before the finish line.
He makes up for it, and that's the bit the judges remember, just when you're on the door at the end.
The exclamation mark.
Yeah, the little full stop to say, oh, I was there, don't you worry about it. Here we go, we switch them around. Kvia in the lead, Korpuliński in the chase. Let's see which way this one goes. It's got to be some wild style from Kvia against the consistency of Korpuliński.
Yeah, can Korpuliński turn up the heat? Can he turn up the aggression? He's going to go for it, that's for sure. Look at this, he's glued to the rear wheel of Torani Kvia's 180 SX. They fire through the middle of the circuit. Oh, and Korpuliński almost gets himself caught up on the inside as now Kvia goes on that perfect lead line. He's right to the edge of the circuit as Korpuliński now goes for a trouble, a big dive down on the inside onto the rear wheel. It's mirror image.
I mean, I would not want to be a judge after that. Definitely not. Oh, I mean, take a minute. You're going to need it. Let me look at this one. So, Kvia, wild initiation, big angle as he comes through that first corner. Korpuliński does well, though, on the inside, stays with him all the way through. Now, at this point, Kvia has to get wide like Korpuliński did, and he does. Right to the wall he goes. On the transition, Korpuliński a little bit more timid on the first one, but then he makes up for it. So he's a little bit further back than Kvia was here. He goes all on the onside, kind of straight lines it a little bit.
Weird transition, to be fair.
Then he gets back on it here, up onto the door. Not as fluid in the chase, maybe at that position. Kvia looks like he's going to the shops there in the lead position. Really calm in the car, not much steering input. But then it's a great dive from Korpuliński, much more aggressive than Kvia was the other way around, getting up onto the door, but loses a little bit of ground just at the end. I mean, it's really tit for tat. I have no idea. I'd say if they watched that back 10 times, they still wouldn't know.
They would not know, no. I don't think they know themselves.
Two handsome men with beards.
Yep. I'm a big beard fan myself, Dave.
I'll tell you what, these two guys have earned their right to be fighting for a podium this weekend.
100%.
Like, no question. But judges will have to decide it of who is going to go through to the final to meet Lauri, Heinonen. Will it be Kvia? Will it be Korpuliński? Let's see what happens. It's Tor Arne Kvia. He's going to the final. And that is what Tor Arne Kvia needed for the last 2 years. That's what he needed since the start of this season. He needed to believe again, and he believes now.
Oh, he does. He believes, and you can see what it means to him, Dave. The emotions now flood out of him. He can't believe it. He is absolutely ecstatic. Paweł Korpuliński once again playing for that third and fourth place playoff. Just can't seem to get out of that little routine. He needs that 10% more. Well, look at that. The moon is now in the sky, Dave.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to hear from Tor Arne Kvia. He must be over the moon. Becky, you're with the Norwegian sledgehammer. He's in the final.
Tor, an incredible performance there. Your transitions in the smoke, in the dark, are unbelievable. What is it like out there right now, trying to make those moves on such a knife edge?
To be honest, I'm on such a hype right now. I'm super pumped, and yeah, it feels really good. The car is dialed, the team has done an amazing job, and yeah, going into this round, my girlfriend gave me the best advice ever: go 10% down and you win. And we're in the first final I've ever done, so yeah, super happy.
I mean, you just took my next question away. I was like, this is your first ever final in the Drift Masters. What is going through your mind right now, if you can even explain that to us?
I'm just super happy how the tables have turned. This season has been not the best, let's be honest, and yeah, I'm super happy. I can't really describe my emotions right now.
So going into the final with Lauri, I mean, are you going to need that 10%, or are we going to still keep it cool, calm and collected and see what happens?
I think this track is all about survival, so we'll keep what we've been doing until now and see if it pays off, so yeah.
Good luck, Tor, and congratulations. We'll see you in the final.
Thank you.
So there we go, Tor Arne Kvia just coming into this round a little bit reserved. He needed that female touch. He needed a female to just say to him, rein it back a little bit. Well, let's take a look back at some replays. The route to the final for Tor Arne Kvia. Well, he took down his fellow countryman, Orhan Nilsen, with an incredible chase. And that chase, I think, is going to be the one this weekend. It's going to be the signature move for Tor Arne Kvia. That deadly chase, those perfectly timed transitions are what he's becoming renowned for. And as we say, overcome his fellow countryman, Orhan Nilsen, but then took on the Estonian, Pesur, and took him down in an incredible fashion. And look at this from Kvia, the chasing, the timing on those transitions has been absolutely impeccable all day, from the daylight into the night, under the lights. And Kvia, wow, what a driver. I'm making some moves this weekend. And then, as we see earlier on, Conor Falvey, another driver that fell foul to this incredible lead and incredible chase from the Norwegian sledgehammer. Dave, Kvia's been on, we keep saying it about multiple drivers, but Kvia and Heinonen, for me right now, they're on rails.
I'm thinking it out loud, as I normally do.
As you normally do.
Kvia had a lot of skeletons in the closet. He had to get through his good friend Orrin Nielsen.
Yeah.
That's one that he would have built the confidence. He knows how good Orrin is. He had to beat Falvey, who beat him in Riga.
Yeah.
And then he's moved a step further than he did in Riga. And now he beats Korpuliński, who's probably the most consistent driver on the grid, I would imagine. So all of those things are going to be playing in his head now. Now he goes up against Heinonen. The one thing he knows about Heinonen is that he's good, he's fast, and he's also going to be full 100%. So Kvia can trust Heinonen here to go and put in, and I don't know what that looks like, but a 172-point chase run. Heinenen's runs, though, weren't easy either. Had a tough day in practice, really was struggling with the car, had very little practice. He went out against Max Heidrich. He played it safe against Max Heidrich. Max is a wild driver. He didn't overcommit. And if you think about a championship, and there's moments in championships where you got to be strategic. He was strategic here. He didn't overcommit against Heidrich until he trusted him and knew it, got the job done. Then he went up against a very on-form Juha Rintanen, and this time he just did his thing and Rintanen overpushed. I think the big speed and angle from Heinonen caught Rintanen there, and it could catch Kvia as well, because it is a wild run through the course. Heinenen's on more. The thing about Heinonen is, you may be mistaken sometimes for thinking he might be consistent, but he's actually really stylish as a driver. He's got a lot of angle, he carries a lot of pace. He went up against Jack Shanahan. This was the toughest battle I think Heinonen knew himself. He had to really push, and he did. He went up on the door. This was a real back and forth affair from them. Went one more time, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll tell you what, Heinonen, I mean, to get through Jack Shanahan, not an easy feat. Then against Piskolty, again, Heinonen does his job, but he lets Piskolty make the mistakes.
Yeah, we heard earlier on while we were, Becky was having a chat down there with Kvia that Kevin Piskolty actually misshifted after he made contact with Heinonen.
I get, right, so that's why he shut off afterwards, yeah. It looks like maybe a similar situation for Rovanpera earlier in the night. They're used to pulling the gear, but when they have to pull the handbrake, can't pull the gear and the handbrake at the same time.
No, exactly.
Unless you're an octopus, and they're not. So here we are. Here's the story of today, and I mean, if you've just joined us, you've missed quite a lot. Go back and watch it, because I'll tell you what, we are going to head towards our playoffs, and I'll tell you what, right now we are going. Here we are. It is the playoff here at round 5. The semi-finals are over. We are into the playoffs, and first up is for third step on the podium, Poland's Paweł Korpuliński. Well, he was third step on the podium in Riga. Can he go back-to-back third places? He goes up against the hometown hero, Kevin Piskolty, and I mean the Hungarian crowd here are not going to take too much convincing of who they want to get to third step on the podium. It would be a big party here if Piskolty takes his first trophy of the year, but a long way from here to there. Korpuliński, the judges said to me just in the brief gap we had, Korpuliński's done the same run from the start of practice to now. Never once changed his lead run. He hasn't made one mistake every run they've watched. They told his spotter in practice he's fine. They told him in qualifying he's fine. And here he is in third place. That's what Piskolty is going to know. Now Piskolty's got to find something, because Korpuliński's not making mistakes. So if someone's not going to make a mistake, and all Piskolty's have to learn from his own, he's going to have to be very aggressive here.
I'm just trying to listen in there of what Kevin Piskolty was saying to our start line Marshall Martin. Maybe there was an issue with the car and they got it rectified. Nevertheless, it looks like they are both ready to rock and roll, and Paweł Korpuliński, as Dave just said, Mr. Consistent. He is ready to rock and roll. No messing around. Well, here we go. Almost time to press the button and get the lights going.
Heard it. Issue with fourth gear on Piskolty's car, and he said, I'm running it anyway. So he's going to have to try and do this in a gear he's not comfortable. Oh, here we go. Drama already. Third step on the podium, up for grabs. Piskolty to chase in Korpuliński, and they're at it from the off.
Yeah, they are at it from the off. And look at this. Korpuliński knows that he needs to try and evade Kevin Piskolty, but Kevin Piskolty will not want to let him get away. There's a shot at standing on at the podium. Oh, and Kevin Piskolty's car just will not have it. It will not hang all the way around that long outside zone, and another wobble, and it just allows Paweł Korpuliński to drive away.
Yeah, so heard from the marshal that the car is half engaging fourth gear, so it's like he has to kind of wrestle it into fourth gear, and that's what you saw there.
Oh, man.
Not his fault, but...
No.
I mean, it's the way we've got to have a good car and a good driver, and sometimes the car can let the driver down, and especially on a night like tonight. But I was just waiting and waiting as you were talking for this gear shift where Piskolty made the mistake the last time, and you can see it happen clear as day.
Oh man, such a shame. And you know what, he's been flying all weekend and he looks dialed and he's, you know, putting down some incredible leads and chases, but look, you can see it here, boom, and loses that momentum straight away, and it's a big wobble and he has to reinitiate and get himself back into it.
I'm going to ask a question, Ian.
Go on, Dave.
How do you chase that?
Yeah.
How do you chase Piskolty if he's going to stall like that in Korpuliński's position? Does he hang back here?
I think Piskolty plays it safe, hangs back, and then makes a dive on outside zone 5.
Korpuliński.
Korpuliński, sorry.
So Korpuliński in the chase position as they come off the line. Korpuliński fires in on the back bumper of Piskolty's car now. Will Piskolty's car engage gears here? What will Korpuliński do? Oh, the tension's building to the corner. We know it's coming.
Yeah, we do know it's coming. Davey slots that car into gear this time and up and goes. And it no problems whatsoever for Piskolty as he puts it to the wall and across the line. But Paweł Korpuliński's all over him.
I'll tell you what, that's even more heartbreaking for Kevin Piskolty, because whatever he did there, if he just done it the first run, we wouldn't have this conversation. And
no.
I think we were going to know which way this one's going to go. Gotta say though, Piskolty threw absolutely everything at that lead run.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful from Kevin Piskolty. Look at this. Nice and close to the wall, deep in the outside zone. The transitions were perfect from Piskolty, but you can't take anything away from Paweł Korpuliński. He's been flawless all weekend. So is the car, and this man is so consistent that he's dangerous. And we've said that before in qualifying when we see those scores drop in.
I mean, it's not official.
No.
But Korpuliński back-to-back podiums. Has anyone else done back-to-back podiums this year? James Dean, maybe?
James Dean.
Yeah, that's not a bad company to be in. Just saying.
Just saying.
Let's see which way the judges go and make it official for third step on the podium here at the penultimate round of the Drift Masters Championship is, once again, Paweł Korpuliński. Back-to-back podiums for the Polish legend. I'll tell you what, he's become a bit of a legend killer these days, because Paweł Korpuliński, look at that, thanks the car and says, you got me here, no issues. He's been flawless.
Yeah, it's been flawless, Dave.
And I mean, I'll tell you what, he's done as much as he possibly can to be the most consistent driver on the field. You know what, he's a threat going into Poland now as well.
He is a threat.
Hometown advantage. Oh. And I'll tell you what, he doesn't make any mistakes.
No.
Another driver that uses the simulator a lot to get that muscle memory, and it worked for him. Look at the smile on that face.
He'll be so happy with that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a very reserved, nice guy. And but you can see the emotion now. It's job done for Paweł Korpuliński. He's going to be up there, and he's going to have to dry clean that suit for a second time. It's going to be covered in champagne very soon.
That's not a bad way to have it cleaned.
You'd be skipping down to the dry cleaner.
Yeah. Happy away.
Dry cleaner won't be like, oh, you're back again?
Back again.
You're damn right.
Good weekend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another 4 weeks.
I'll be back again.
Book me a slot. Look at that, Kevin. I'll tell you what, top 4 though for Piskolty. Best result of the year. Why not do it here?
Yeah, exactly that, Dave. And he'll be ecstatic with that. I think for Kevin Piskolty to even make the Great 8, to even be in the question, he will be over the moon.
Unbelievable. That leaves us with 1 battle left to go, and it is for top step on the podium. Let's head straight to the final. Return to Hungary with 51 drivers on the grid, but only 2 remain. And as you can see, Kevin Piskolty and Korpuliński are doing some celebratory donuts just to give us a little ambience before we head into the final. And that final is between 2 big names of the sport. 2 guys that I think everybody who's a drift fan will cheer on right now and know that they haven't always been at the top. Lauri has been second. He got his first win in Finland. He could get his second win here in Hungary. Kvia, well, he's never won around a Drift Masters. It would be history in the making. And I'm going to question, has a Norwegian driver ever won around a Drift Masters? But I'm not even getting into that, but I'm pretty sure they haven't. So this is huge. Kvia, Heinenen's got all the points in the bag as it is, but the maximum points is what he's going for. He needs to win this one, and I'm not sure where he sits in the standings at the end of this, but he'll be way up there. Now Kvia has got to prove, is this his day? Is this his night? Can he get the job done? Heinonen in the lead as the higher qualifier, Kvia in the chase, and here we go.
Through the gears, down, no messing around. Big opposite flick from Lauri Heinonen, and Kvia deals of it. And look at Kvia glued to the door of the other S13 as they fire across the circuit. Kvia now waits for the transition. Heinonen gets himself into the wall. So does Kvia. No messing around though. Back out of it again as they go deep. And Kvia goes for an early transition. Up onto the door he goes as Heinonen drags him across the line.
Oh, it's knife edge. Knife edge from Kvia. I thought he was going in the wall. He almost did what Kevin Piskolty did and go in the wall behind Heinonen, but he got away with it. That was a very, very fast run. I mean, the speed of that run compared to what we've watched earlier today, they're trusting this track now in their cars and their ability.
I mean, look, they're just trusting everything. They're trusting the circuit's going to deliver, and it is delivering. Look at this from Arne Kvia. The chase run, once again, textbook, but the lead run from Lauri Heinonen, textbook. He just couldn't get that done yesterday in qualifying, but today he can get it done, and he's proving that's a championship drive. He wants to be a champion, and he's driving like a champion.
But massive aggression from Kvia. And I'll be honest with you that if Heinonen doesn't bring the fight here, he's going to lose this, because that's a lot of proximity from Kvia through the whole course. Just put it out there. This is no cakewalk for Lauri Heinonen. He's got to put it on the door. And that, if he wants this championship, if he wants to get out of second place, if he wants to stop seeing the phrase second place, he's got to trust Kvia can get the job done here. He's got to put it on the door for Finland, and he's got to put it on top step of the championship. Here we go.
Yeah, look at this nice initiation. Heinonen goes late on the initiation, gets that car set up, but Kvia's already up and gone. Flicks that car from left to right. Heinonen, a big throttle, dabs on the foot brake, now looks for the side of Kvia, and I don't think he's had that much proximity before, as Kvia now starts to drive away. Kvia almost gets taken out by Heinonen. He's glued to the door.
Forget about it. That transition from Heinonen, forget about it. That's absolutely insane. He almost threw the car, the championship, and the whole kit and caboodle out the window there. I'll tell you what, if he hits him there, that's the two cars written off. My goodness. Up until then, it was tit for tat. Up for then, I was thinking, this is the balance.
I'm going to just go out there and say, I don't think that Heinonen had as much proximity in the first half of that run as Kvia did. I was going to say,
agreed.
Kvia was, you know what, starting to drag this one away. I think Kvia was like 1 foot on the top step of the podium. But then from here on out, Heinonen started to trust Kvia, started to lean on him a little bit. They got through this outside zone, and then Heinonen said, you know what, no more messing around, time to get the job done.
Took a big risk here.
Man, this transition was scary.
If we see that from the outside again, look at this.
Watch this.
Doesn't even make sense. Watch. Oh, come on. Even the drone can't figure it out.
And he was closer than Kvia across the line. Both lead lines were exceptional, but for me, sealing the deal was Lauri Heinonen on that final outside zone.
Well, we're getting a decision from the judges. Winning round 5 in Hungary is Lauri Heinonen gets the win. Lauri Heinen's won it. He's won the event. He can't believe it. Lauri Heinonen, I mean, my goodness, what a night. Lauri Heinonen takes 2 victories this year in the championship. He won it on home soil in Finland, but now he's won it again here in Hungary. And Lauri Heinonen, who had no practice the first day, had every issue the car could throw at him, has won the event. And maybe, just maybe, it's written in the stars now for Lauri Heinonen. That last transition, and Arne Kvia, he'll be all smiles. No shame in second place with a grid like we have here at Drift Masters. These are the best of the best, and I don't think anyone can argue that from any side of the world when you see transitions, speed, smoke, crashes, thrills, spills like we've seen here in Hungary. And I'll tell you one thing, Arne Kvia brought the fight this weekend.
Oh man, did he bring the fight. And you know what? Lauri Heinonen brought the drive like a champion. He's driving in the right mindset. Well, look, no messing around. Becky's down there with Lauri. Becky, he must be on top of the world.
Lauri, you have just won round 5 of the Drift Masters Championship here in Mariapocs. I know that sometimes you struggle for a few words, but you've got to tell us what you are thinking right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling so good because I thought Thor was on fire today. And for me, it was just safe runs after safe runs because the other guys had problems. So it means so much to me to get a big run under.
Watching that transition on outer zone 4, I think everybody kind of clinched a little bit because it was so cutthroat. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I had nothing to lose, and luckily the rear end of Thor is so flexible, so I went under there.
This is a big points change for you. This is looking very positive as you're going into round 6. It's all set sights for Poland now.
Yeah, what happened to Dwayne and James, I wouldn't wish them for that. But yeah, we took the biggest advantage of that, so we are happy for ourselves.
Lauri, congratulations. What an incredible performance.
There you have it, a very happy Lauri Heinonen. He has won it. He's won it for the second time this year, and the Finnish fans, well, they've travelled every length of Europe to be behind him. And I'll tell you what, a lot of pride for Kevin Piskolty too. 4th place tonight, not a bad, for a pretty up and down season for Kevin Piskolty. He's done pretty well, but now, here we go. Where is the championship?
Whoa.
Where are we at with the championship standings? Because that's what So here we have it as Lauri Heinonen. This was happened today. Number 1, Kvia, 2nd position. Paweł Korpuliński takes 3rd. Kevin Piskolty, great run in 4th. The tasted 5th position, can't argue with that. 6th and 7th for the Shanahans. Piotr, Więcek and Przygoński rounding out your top 10. Kalle Rovanpera in 11th position, not a bad result for him. And here you have to see the rest of the drivers as they stacked up in the championship. 17th for James Dean. 22nd for Dwayne McKeever. They're the big stories.
Yeah.
Down the order quite considerably after mechanical failures. And a lot of, Luca Fascini, even the Italian, getting wild card, getting in there in the top 32. Interesting stuff. And I'll tell you what, this is what everyone here wants to see. So, this is how much they've got from the event. So, Lauri took maximum, well, not maximum points, but 101 maximum today, not from qualifying. Kvia gets 88, Korpuliński 76, Piskolty gets 64, Conor Falvey takes 48. Itay Sadeh 48 at Jack Shanahan and Conor Shanahan. So all similar points there from 5th down. And where are we at in the championship? Well, that's what... Here we go. Here we go. This is what's going to lead us all the way into Poland, folks. This is how it stacks up at the end of Hungary. And there it is.
Wow.
Lauri Heinonen, massive lead over James Dean and Dwayne McKeever into the final round. He got it done. Conor Shanahan in Paweł Korpuliński up to 5th position in the championship. Big moves for him. And Piskolty now into the top 8 in the championship, with Pesur dropping a spot from 5th to 6th. It's heating up. There's still a lot on the table. Lauri Heinonen will take a massive advantage over James Dean, but it's been this position before. Dean and McKeever have a lot of work to do. So we move it along, Ian, to the final round of the championship, the big one.
Yeah.
60,000 people will decide this in the PGA Narodowy. And I'm telling you one thing, I am very excited to see which way this goes.
Man, look, we went there last year, and it's time to go back there this year. The PGA, the Narodowy in Warsaw, in Poland, in just 3 weeks' time. We see it all last year, and we see Conor Shanahan get crowned the 2023 Drift Masters champion. Who will be crowned the 2024 Drift Masters champion? Well, only time will tell, because we have to go all through this once again under the lights in Poland. I'll be there. Will you be there? Don't forget, those tickets still on sale. We'll see you soon. Take care.